I like your haircut, MJ. I like
Thank you.
the little line. Very stylish.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to try and look good. Um,
Yeah. How are you doing? It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a few weeks, it feels like.
yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm just kind of like running around trying to do like my immigration stuff. That's what's been happening. So hopefully I'm done like this week, just like getting my medicals and like all my biometric stuff. So even today, I wasn't even sure I was gonna like make it right away because I was like, oh, am I gonna be with the doctor or not at all? But I think I just have one more stop to make today, and I should be good. What the heck is going on with this
Good.
map?
Hopefully you get that squared
Yeah.
away today and get you some free time to focus on other things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Usually when they send their emails like that, I just like to be on it right away because I don't want to like wait or forget. I think the only thing that's probably going to keep me for a bit is how I get a police certificate from back home. So that's really the only thing that's bringing my mind right now. Like, how the heck am I going to do that? But I don't know. I have some people I'm gonna try and speak with, and then I'll see what I do. If it doesn't require me actually like traveling to a different city to do anything with immigration over at my country. Yeah. Anyhow, but yeah, that's kind of like what I'm working on right
Gotcha. Yeah, fingers are crossed. It's speedy.
now.
Getting it dialed in and yeah.
Yeah.
Um Ryan, Jeremy, nice. Hope you guys are doing well.
Hey, man.
Chilling, living the dream. Okay, let's get started. I think most people are here, so let's delve on in. Okay. Okay, so who do we have first? I think first we have you, Jeremy. Mr. Jeremy, how are things going?
Uh, it's been a crappy day. The lady ghosted me, and mo pretty much every one of these discovery phone calls, no matter what I do, texts, emails, phone calls, trying to massage them all the way in, I'm just getting ghosted right and left. And the lady who actually said on the phone while she was doing somebody's hair, she was going to pay, go with my deal, and I sent her the link, and we were going to talk at 4. I called her at 4 and 4:30. She didn't answer. So like, I don't know. I'm getting a little frustrated in a couple of areas, and I'm looking at the 6-figure thing, the in 6 weeks or whatever. And I think what I've gleaned from this, Koshik, is that you want me to go through this so I can prove to you that I can sell something, that this is just the practice. Um, what I'd like to do is figure out how to get this over as quick as possible so I can get into a scenario where I'm making money, obviously. And it's been tough because I'm still trying to do my job and my work, and these I'm just getting that's kind of what I referenced in my point to you when I texted the group this today, was that I think that a lot of the leads I'm getting are just junk. They're people who, either like today I spoke to a lady who saw it and opted in, and we talked for about 10 minutes, but I don't want to get into it. But the lady is on welfare, so I um when she started, I said, well, tell me about your business and your financial situation. She immediately went into what she's getting from the government. And I was just like, this is just a waste of my time. I don't want to sit here and talk to this lady. And I got off the phone pretty quick. Um, and I'm just getting a lot of these people who, it's the same problem when I texted you or enrolled in the course the very first night when I was laying in bed at 12:30 and filled out my application to come to you. The same struggle I was having then is what these people are showing up in my lead box, is that I know how to get retainers. I'm already, as a business, making 10 or $12,000 a month. I know how to sell. I've been doing it for 21 years. So if I got to sit and deal with all these low end junk leads where I'm talking to people who have no money and ghost me over and over and over, it's just not going to work for me because I have too many bills to pay and too much pressure starting to mount on my shoulders to talk to somebody who's on government welfare. And so I got to figure something out to get a sale. And I want to. I mean, I believe in this system, but the other thing that's like nagging in the back of my brain on this, just proving to you I can sell, is like this lady, she was going to, if she had signed, she was going to pay $1,000. I was going to work your deal that you had been kind of going over with Cam last week, I think. $1,000, and then in the next 30 days, she was going to pay the other 3,500. And I got to thinking about it. I thought, you know, if she actually does this, I'm going to spend, according to the timeline, 14 days working with her, making a video, coming up with ads, building a funnel, you know, doing all this work for her. And because her ticket item is $50, she told me, according to Shopify, her average ticket item is $54. I have to spend the majority of that money she's giving me in order to get her some sort of result. So if she gives me $45, I think the ads I'm going to have to run, I'm going to have to spend the majority of that $4,500 just to get her to break even, and nothing is going to go in my pocket. And then so I think back to when you guys were talking about, you know, just refund them. So, you know, I think, forgive me, I'm just frustrated because it's been like, I came in this weekend and called several people who had left messages, and last Friday I worked on it pretty much all day, worked on it all day today. And I'm just not getting people who, I don't know if it's how, that's why I was saying, is there a way to make sure the ads are geared toward people who, I'm not talking to somebody who, like one of them, I got their application filled out and it said, I'm a startup. I just finished my first month and made $500. And, you know, and then they put their goal is 100,000 a month. And I'm just like, okay. So it's just, and then when you go and look at what they're doing, like one of them was ice cream cones. So they're literally, their average customer is like less than $10. So it's
Okay.
the same thing. I'm struggling with the same stuff I did before I even met you.
No, it's fine. I'm making notes as you're talking. There are a few key things I just want to I want to bring up, but
And forgive me, I'm not frustrated with you guys or the group or you, Kaushik. I'm just aggravated at myself because I can't seem to get, I want to move on to the next level. You know, I want to make money. I'm not, I know some of these guys and have heard their backgrounds. I'm not in their shoes. I'm 20 years in. I know how to sell. I make a lot of money doing it my way. But I'm just, you know, kind of feel like I've hit my ceiling. And that's why I came to you, because I don't know how to get past that ceiling. And I'm just not sure this 6-figure thing is where I need to be. There's no money in it. But, you know, if I waste all this time with all these people and then just refund them, or I actually go through it with some of these people that are coming into me, I don't make any money. And I'm just not in it at this point to do things for people for free. And forgive me, I know you could probably buy and sell me. Your bank account probably destroys my bank account, but man, I know how to sell. I've done this 21 years. I've been in business since 2003. I know how to sell when somebody gets in front of me or I get in front of them. What I need is somebody to show me how to get them in front of me, and they're good people ready to sign on they want to talk. They need to get going. Not these people who are just like, well, I don't know how to do this. I've just got a little bit of money and I'm on the government welfare. I mean, I just about hung up on the phone on her when she said that.
yeah.
So I'm
So
sorry.
no,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
venting a little bit.
No, it's okay. It's okay. My thing is not, my issue is not venting. My issue is like, what are the four core issues, and let's tackle them. My thing is
Yeah.
product. How do we tackle? And so as you were talking, I kind of hear you saying the same thing. There are like four key things that we have to go over. And that's why I kind of respectfully cut you off because I want to get to actually helping you.
Yeah.
So when you said, so, and again, short answers will help me help you understand this.
Okay.
So you said you had a conversation with the lady, and I warned you about this. I told you, hey, you got to close on the call. You can't push it later. You can't do
Yeah.
another.
Well, I told you, I heard your voice in my head. I
And
knew
so,
what was getting ready to happen.
and so with her, well, no. So when you say you know how to sell, you know how to sell organically, but you don't know how to sell through paid ads respectfully. Not even
Yeah.
close. Not even close.
Yeah,
And
I'm failing miserably.
and so when you say, hey, Kaushik, I want to move on to the next stage, well, you got to learn how to close at this stage. This is the easy stage. The next stage gets harder. So you got to master this stuff. You see Mason nodding his head. This is the easy game. You got to master this. So if I look at your thing with her, this is a learning lesson for you. So let's replay what you had with her. What you had with her is you got her on the phone and she's cutting hair, and then you're telling her, hey, look, here's what I think I gotta do. It's gonna be $1,000, da da da. Does that sound good to you? She says, yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, great. Let's get taken care of, da da da, right? Here's what you should have done. And again, this is fail forward. You're learning, Jeremy. Understand you're learning, please.
Yeah.
You're learning it's okay. And you got to be kind to yourself. Here's how you would handle it. Here's the right way to handle it. Not collecting the cash on the call. But here's what you would have done. Here, and so you know moving forward. If you ever have a sales call and it, for example, doesn't close, and you do something like this where you're following up, which is normal by this is good. You come back and you follow up, and this is the key. You hit somebody with some kind of offer, it doesn't work. You follow back up with them, you hit them with another offer, but you don't just hit them on that call. What you do is you message them, text them, and say, hey, look, I've got something really cool, interesting for you, Becky. Let me know a good time. And then you get them on a call. And when you get them on the call, here's where you made the mistake. She can't be cutting hair. She's got to be right in front of you on a Zoom call. That's where you went wrong.
Yeah.
That's a learning lesson for you. You
That's
instead of,
what,
and,
that's
and
what
you,
that's what I tried is
you cannot go over the $1,000 pricing and she's cutting hair. What you have to have done is have a conversation with her. If you realize you have to read the room and understand, is she cutting hair? I'm probably not going to transact, so I'm not going to go into pricing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to butter her up, get her warmed up. I'm going to push her to that phone call, get her really excited to hop on that phone call. Once she hops on that phone, Zoom call with me, that's when I'm going to pitch this whole thing. I'm going to right then. That's how you would
that
have done
makes sense.
it.
Yeah,
So
I
Jeremy,
didn't know she was cutting hair until, she's like I was telling you on my little voice message when I was all excited, she's a beautician and runs her brick and mortar out of the same thing. So when I called her back, I could hear people, but I thought, oh, it's just her beauty shop. But I asked her, do you have 5 minutes for me? And she said, yeah. And then I said, I think I've worked out a deal to make this work. And so when I started going over the pricing, she's like, I think we can do that. I got a credit card, but let's make it work. And I said, okay, I've got a link here. Can we go ahead and can I get your credit card number? She said, well, can you call me at 4 o'clock? I'm cutting this lady's hair. And I heard the lady go, you can do whatever. I heard somebody saying something to her, and she said, no. Just call me back at 4. And
so the learning lesson is here. So again, Jeremy, I know you said you know how to sell. You don't know how to sell, man. I love you, but you don't know how to sell. This is part of selling is understanding the meta and understanding, hey, I got to read the room. Hey, what are you doing time and energy wise? Where are you at exactly? Before you get anything, it's important that now you have a learning lesson of, hey, I must read the room first for exactly what's going on. Is she sellable right then or not? If no, I don't go into it. That's the learning lesson. Again, a regular person, Bob, Joe, whatever that you may as a referral, yeah, dude, they're gonna give you their credit card. They trust you, they know you, they like you, all that stuff. Somebody from ads ain't gonna do it, man. It just doesn't. It's not gonna work that way.
yeah, and you're right. I've never sold from ads. Most everything has come to me.
So me, for example,
I get a lot of people calling me that I've never met before. And that's where I make a lot of income is just off of my website or social media posts, but not ads.
And I'll give you a real life example now. For me, what I do is I send this Loom video, again, the one I sent you, 20 minutes long. I make it super serious. Like, hey, dude, do not show up if you cannot do this. Do not show up if you can't do this. It's a very, hey, this guy's not BSing around with me. And then when somebody shows up to the actual call, the first thing I say is, okay, here's the trick. Here's what I say. And again, this is part of selling. This is meta level selling. This is high level selling. It's not your average selling. It's, hey, what's going on, man? How's your day going? Okay, cool. Do you have another shoot after this? Do you have anything you have to do? All right, cool. So I guess do you have time card out? And here's what I'm trying to do. I say what I say to bait people into saying, no, I got the whole day covered for you. Ryan, literal example. Nah, dude, bro, I'm good to go. Right, Ryan? Literally, he says the words. I don't have to say it to him. He says, hey, exactly, smiling. He's like, yeah, dude, I got the rest of today covered for you. That's how I know somebody's ready to buy. I have had a conversation with somebody else who sits in front of me. He's eating some food, and I could already tell like he's not in buying mode. He's not taking this seriously. So I'm like, oh, dude, here, it sounds like you're eating. Why don't we talk after dinner? Like, no, 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 I'm good. Are you sure? You want to put that aside? Do you have something you have to edit? Do you have something? I know I need a solid 3 hours to get somebody in buying mode. Again, this is high level sales, man. This stuff is what works with ads. It's not going to work organically. If you can do this with ads, here's what I'm saying. If you do this with ads, selling organically is gonna be like a walk in the park. So
I generally don't struggle organically. This one's a new language.
exactly. And so when you're saying, hey, Kaushik, like I know how to sell and this and that, and I'm stuck here. The only way to get unstuck if you want to do ads is to learn this high level meta game.
Yeah, that's how I start. Like I said, I started off the call with her. Do you have time? Do you have 5-10 minutes for me? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And then it just failed. And my frustration is mostly because I thought I'm going to get on this call and I'm going to be done. I'm going to be ready to get into the niching. I'm going to be, but I have 2 more discovery calls booked. I have a sales call booked for Thursday. So not all's dead. It's just, dadgum, that's frustrating.
The other part that's kind of a red flag to me, and it's not, it's not a you thing, Jeremy, but it's like, you've ever heard of that thing of like, hey man, if you want somebody to spend $5,000 with you, you better be willing to spend $5,000 on your own business.
Yeah.
You treat you a certain way, you got to be able to treat somebody a certain way, right? You've heard that before, right? So when you say that thing to me of, I'm telling you right now, this comes from a place of love, but we've all dealt with nightmare clients. And a nightmare client for us in the agency world is somebody that's going to complain about lead quality. One of the exercises I'm doing with you of, hey, make sure it's a video game. You lose 5% of your life. You gain back 5%. You die in 14 days. Is so that you understand how to manage your emotions, manage your day, dealing with these leads, and understand 9 out of 10 will not be good leads. Because if you can master that, and you can, again, out of 100 rocks, you lift up one and there's 30,000 underneath of them, now you will respect how Facebook ads works. And you will say, hey, it's a numbers game. And then guess what? When a client comes to you and they say to you, hey, poor lead quality, I'm getting frustrated, you're going to be able to say what you need to say and have conviction in your soul, just like I have conviction as I'm speaking to you. But if you yourself cannot deal with it, I promise your clients will chew you up.
I hear you. I heard that. I heard it.
Can I ask what your background is, Jeremy?
I own a video and media production company since 2003 called Cinematic Visions. So if you go to cinematicvisions.com, I've been around for a long time. So what I generally do when I first started was making videos, mainly for corporate America. That led to designing websites, doing social media, and then I have probably 10 or 15 clients I do Google ads for. And, I just feel like I've kind of capped out. I'm averaging between $10,000 and $12,000 every month. Not to get all personal with everybody, my wife is the main breadwinner in our family. She works for AT&T, and their CEO just said, if you don't move to Dallas or Atlanta, you're fired. That was it. She's been there for 30 years. And so come just right before Christmas, they're letting her go. So it's a great time. I just got all this pressure. I want to increase my income so that, her loss isn't as painful. So
I hear. So
yeah.
I only asked Jeremy because the way that you were talking was my exact mindset for the last 7 days, right? And Kaushik had me doing this thing, and I'm like, I've been in sales for years as well myself, in different areas. But what I came to realize really quickly is Kaushik's given us everything we need to bring people into sell, and we know the system works. The only differentiating factor is yourself. Now, if you went and ran ads in your own niche and you kind of started from scratch up yourself, you don't necessarily know which part is working and which part is failing straight off the bat. But at least with Kaushik's model here, everything's in line that it works, apart from the you selling part. And that's the only differentiating factor between each and every single one of us is, can we sell this particular thing? We know the rest works. So that's the different part. So once you get that to work, then when you go to your own niche, that no matter what you do, no matter how you start up, once you get to this point, you know you're solid here and you can sell here because you've just proven it. I
Yeah.
think that's why it puts us through.
Well, I
this-
think
this-
part of my frustration is I'm behind. It's all my fault. I mean, when I came into the program, I'm already working close to 50 hours a week. So, you know, it's my fault. I'm behind. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to try and get this done, to get into that niche and start learning that. And I think, like I said, part of my frustration rises out of these people. I get on the phone, we talk. Yeah, I want to be there. And then they just ghost me. And I feel like this lady I was speaking to, I was putting some of the things Kaushik was giving me as advice on the side, and it was working, and then she ghosted me. And so I guess the frustration on my part is, she ghosted me. I'd like to left her a couple of messages with my true thoughts in mind. I'm just not getting the chance to talk to people in the sales process very much. Most of these people they either ghost me or they aren't serious. But
So Jeremy, what we got to do is we got to have a look at your numbers and see if there's an issue between your discovery and sales call. So really quick though, before we delve into that, it's important that you understand why we're doing this. Like, I think Ryan hit a lot of it on the head, but Ryan just got done watching this video. That Ryan jumped ahead. He watched this video before he was supposed to watch this video, which is the video you're supposed to watch after you close your first deal. And it's kind of like this big surprise of like why I've been making you jump through all these hoops and doing all these
I
things.
think I've watched that. Yeah.
Have you already watched the video of what to do?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's at the bottom of the onboarding page.
Yes, I've watched it.
Okay. So here's why. It's because, very honestly, man, in terms of like people moving during the stage, there's like these dopamine hits. You have the dopamine hit, which is, I don't know if I want to get into religion here.
Well, she gave me a line of crack and promised me 2 and didn't give me my second line. I just was there. And again, my venting is my own frustration. I told you on that voice note, I heard you in my head saying, don't let her put that curling iron down, or make her put the curling iron down and get the credit card. I heard you saying it. I knew when I got off the phone with her, it was a 50-50 shot after that. And as the day wore on, it started in my mind becoming more like, nah, I'll bet she doesn't answer. And by the time I dialed the phone and it went to voicemail, I knew exactly what had happened. It's my fault. It's just, dang it, man. She was one of the few people I actually got to have like a serious conversation with. And I could see light, you talk about the light bulb. I could see it. I could see it happening. And I just don't know what happened between all the excitement, other than I let her get cold.
The issue we already discussed. The issue is that you shouldn't have talked about that while she was curling iron. That was the issue.
Well, I guess, yeah.
So anyways, look, here's why we do what we do. If you want to pass the stage, but here's why I'm going over this. If you want to pass the stage and just pass over this level and go to the next level, you can. Here's why I'm explaining to you why we do what we do. During this phase, there's hits of dopamine really fast. So it's like, hey, Kaushik, you promised this amazing machine. Okay, you get it launched in 24 hours. Hey, I know how to use Go High Level now. Super easy. Leads are coming in super fast. Oh my God, this is a walk in the park. Close your first deal. Super easy. So this whole thing, it's dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. It's very hard to stay faithful to God or the higher being when you're in chronic pain for 30 fucking years. Those people lose faith. Don't mean to get too into religion, but I'm looking at religion and I'm looking at a lot of different things. I'm creating parallels. How do you get people to stay motivated and keep moving forward? Dopamine hits. So I've created this program to hit dopamine hits. And the reason for that is after you close your first deal for about a month and a half, which is where Ryan is right now, which is where Rodarte was, which is where Cam is, there is this phase of just ghost. Cam, what was that feeling like when you launch your ads and nothing is coming for 12 days? Rodarte, what is that like when you're 8 weeks in and no sale? This phase is so hard. There is not money coming in and you're just working and working, you're spending money and it's grinding. And this is what I'm preparing for. I'm trying to get you dopamine hits so that you believe, so that by the time we get to the actual hard work, where there's no reinforcement, there's blind faith. There is blind faith here, and then you just keep going, and then boom, you get your first sale like Rodarte just did, like Cam did last week, and then now people are off the rate. They keep believing. A lot of this is about faith. And so that's why I force people to close a deal. It's because I want you to have faith, because the next phase is super hard. So
Yeah,
that's a
I
little
think,
bit behind that.
I'm just chomping at the bit, So I apologize, guys, for venting. And Kaushik, none of it is meant toward you. I'm just mad at myself for a lot of different reasons, and for reasons that you know more about than the other guys. I just have this pressure. I just
understand.
feel like I'm in a pressure cooker that's about to explode, and I am not finding the way out. And what was so frustrating is I thought I had it. I was reeling in the fish and saw her underneath the water, and then the line snapped. And so yeah, it's like you said, falling forward. I won't make that mistake again.
Yeah.
But
I
dang.
think it would be bigger of an issue if if your fishing pole broke. You have a system set in place that's going to give you countless opportunities to do this, right? And another thing is you have to think logically, right? Imagine you skipped this stage and you went straight to the people that were higher of quality, business owners, let's say in a chiropractic niche or something along the lines of that. The cost per lead for those guys is not going to be the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever dollars you're spending. So imagine getting
30.
right. Imagine spending, $1,000 to get on 3 calls and
That's the
fucking those up.
that's the
Right.
next level.
That's the next level. Like all these people that don't have shit, like it truly is a game. It's like, how can I get this broke motherfucker to pay me money? Like straight up.
Okay, so help me then, because this is the gap that's starting to form in my mind, and this is where I start, having and I'm sure all these guys who've moved on to the next level can help me here. But so how like in this scenario, like I said, this lady, I would have done all this work and probably wouldn't have made much, if any, money from her. There's money in the
wouldn't,
right?
You would have refunded her straight up because there's no money there. Everything you said is true.
So so before you go any further there, explain to me the refunding and what you say and how that works, because that makes me nervous.
Ryan,
I'm wasting everybody's time, but
you're not wasting time. These are very good questions, Jeremy. I understand the frustration. It's important that you get the right answer. So Ryan, you can go ahead and share how you did it. Cam, you can share how you did it.
Yeah, sweet, Jeremy. So I did the sales call. I closed on there. I took the money. And then I basically sent her the onboarding link so that she could go through and start the onboarding process. She was busy for a couple of days, and then she didn't actually do the onboarding, but I'd given her everything to get it done. I during the sales time, I booked a call for her. That was a couple of days later. So I would like to do it at the start of the week. So this was a Thursday. And I said, hey, look, on Monday, we'll crack into this. We'll book a call and just make sure that everything's hunky-dory. Right. Come Monday morning, I literally sent her an email saying, with the notes, a subject, sorry, saying, full refund plus apology. And I basically just said, hey, Kim, look, please send your bank account details. I started with that so that they didn't get nervous. Please send your bank account details. I have to issue a full refund space. And I said, I've had an unexpected trip to the States, and I'm going to be gone for 2 months, which means I can't fulfill my end of the deal. So all the everyone who's been part of this promotion, I'm issuing a full refund, and I'll reconvene with you in 2 months' time when I am back. I think there's something a little bit along some niceties after that, and I just said, but in the meantime, please fire through your bank account details, and I'll issue you a full refund and state the figure that they gave you. So for me, it was like $1,750, and make sure you state that so they know that they are getting a full refund. You're aware of the price. I think it just makes them a bit more comfortable. I got an email back saying, hey, that's such a shame. Completely understand, but I was really looking forward to you. Can't wait to reconvene with you in 2 months' time. And just sent the refund away straight away. I was to give you some backstory, Jeremy, and I sent this to Cam. I talked to Cam about this, and I put this in the chat, and I was feeling super guilty that I had just taken her money. I was just on a phone call with her, a sales call for 2.5 hours, and knowing that I was doing all this, knowing that I was, because I didn't want to get into the Pilates niche, knowing that I was going to give her a refund, I was feeling incredibly guilty because I'm like, fuck, I'm wasting her time. I would hate it if someone wasted my time. But at the end of the day, like, you got to see past it. You just got to get past it. And as soon as I did, as soon as I sent her the money back, weight fell off the shoulders, felt super calm. And now, right now, I'm just focusing in on what niche am I going to hit and where am I going to go from there. It's not as scary as what you think it's going to be.
Okay.
And the time between taking the money and giving the refunds, it can be as long as you want, but I'd suggest at least maybe 24 to 48 hours at a minimum.
Yeah, I see MJ putting in a thing, and Cam sent me something, so I'll look at those guys. Thank you. I just like I said, fellas, I know I came on here like forgive the expression in America right now, but a little bit of a hurricane attitude. I believe in the system. I do. I'm a little frustrated with myself. I'm frustrated with, not getting to talk to people when I think I'm doing all the stuff that's in the videos. I'm massaging with a text and an email and a phone call. Hey, just checking in, making sure we're still meeting tomorrow, and get yes, 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 all the way up until it's time to get on the phone and then no one's there, or finding out they have no money, or, thinking about like this lady who, and I could help her, I think, but I wouldn't make anything. So it's just yeah.
So
I just want to move on and get things going. And in the position I'm in is my own, like I've said before, is my own fault. It's nobody's fault but my own. But I've shared, like I said, some stuff with Kaushik about why I had some pauses and things like that, as far as some jobs that came my way. But I guess, the thinking in my head is, I know I can do this. I believe in myself. I believe in the system, but I'm not getting a chance to have a lot of these conversations with people because they ghost me or they don't respond. Even on the ones where they're opting in, for whatever reason during the day, I guess it's because people are at work, but I'm not getting I get all this stuff like overnight. And I can't, so that thought of trying to get to them at, 5 minutes after they've hit, when I'm getting a lead at 5:38 in the morning, I don't know what's happening. So anyway,
there's
I'm
three
just making
things.
excuses.
No, you're not making excuses. You're venting because you're frustrated, and that is okay. Venting is fine. Being frustrated is fine. Hurting is fine. What is not okay is not doing something about it.
Yeah, I want to do something.
So doing something about it is taking some tough love that I'm giving you and doing something about that.
I'm all okay with that.
So three things. I need to see your numbers. I don't have your numbers here. So for me,
the September ones are complete, I think, if I did it right. The October ones I was filling in today, so they're probably up through, I don't know, noonish, because I was filling all that stuff in.
So you've had three. So in September, you had three live discovery calls, and then two. So none of them moved forward with a sales call.
No, neither one of them showed up. No.
Okay. So you had
and then one guy emailed me. He was the painter and emailed me before we could get to the sales. So there was I probably should have 3 sales meetings on there booked. One emailed me and the other 2 just flat out didn't show.
Okay. So you had 3 live discovery calls, you had 6 live discovery calls, and then you had 1 live sales meeting. How many people? That
one's booked. It hasn't shown up. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay. So out of,
I see I see where I shouldn't have it on there yet, but
So my question is this. So we got 9. So my question is, so we got 9. I can't seem to type here.
and if you want me to share my screen so you can see, maybe I'm not filling it out right. I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. I think you are. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to, first of all, see if there's an issue, and then from there, help you make sense of it. So we have 9 live discovery calls, and then from there, we got 6. I'm sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then from there we got 3 people to agree,
Yeah.
3 agree to sales call, and then how many of those no showed, and then how many of those have yet to occur?
The one is yet to occur. The 2 no-showed me. And really in September, it should say 3. So I had 1 yet to occur, 3 no-shows.
So one yet
After the first no-show, you gave me some advice on, hey, go watch this video and follow these process, and so I started doing that afterward.
okay, so 9. So I'm gonna pop quiz you here and see if see what we can figure out together. So we've had 9 live discovery calls. 3 of them agreed to a sales call, 1 yet to occur, 3 no show, 1 occurred.
You should say 4 to sales call.
Okay, so 4 agreed to a sales call. Okay, there we go. That makes. Okay, so whenever I look at a business, right? What I look at, Jeremy, is I look from the very top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. So I'm starting all the way at the top and I'm going to move my way down and I'm going to see where the bottlenecks are. Okay. So when I look at your stuff right here, at the very top, we have traffic, then we have the lead, then we have the discovery call, then we have the sales call, and then we have the closes. So what do you see a bottleneck, first of all? Where's the very first bottleneck?
Well, I don't know because I don't know what the actual, discovery call to sales call conversion rate should be.
I think in my experience, it's damn near 80 to 90%. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing basically half. So that means that something is, so where is the issue? The issue is at the discovery call. The issue is not even the sales call. We got to figure out the discovery call first of all. That's what this is telling me. So we're not even ready for the sales call yet.
So, okay, so I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've moved 6 over into the no sale, and then I have 3 sitting over here that I haven't moved yet. So okay, so one of them, and maybe a couple of these I shouldn't even have counted as discovery. One was the lady who told me she's on government welfare. And so I didn't want to get into, sell your Xbox and stuff it was not good. One of them is a lady named Marlena. I called her, introduced myself, and she said, stop calling me. And that was it. Couldn't get any further. Keyshawn was the one who said she was going to do $1,000 and then ghosted me. One was the solar guy. He went through the sales call and wanted to do it, but wanted to do it as a profit share. Another one was the painter. And he was the one who went through the discovery call, booked the sales call with me, and the night before the sales call emailed me and said, never mind, and didn't really give me any reasoning. I emailed him back and, said, hey, there's no commitment, he never responded. Another one was Clean a Lot KC. Ray Jafari was his name. Man, I really thought this one had potential. Booked a sales call with him. He didn't show up. I tried calling him 2 or 3 times afterwards, sent him emails. He's never responded back.
Okay.
And then one is going to happen this Thursday night. Then I have 2 other discovery calls, one booked for tomorrow at 10:30, and another one is the lady who's my friend who told me that'd be cheating, but she didn't know it was me when she was responding because it's your face. Let's see. How many does that cover for? 1, 2, 3. Anyway, that's kind of what's been happening.
We got 25 leads. So here's the deal, Jeremy. Your numbers, like, I know you feel like this is frustrating. It's one thing to feel, and it's one thing for logic and numbers, okay? For
Okay.
you, you feel annoyed. You feel I'm getting a whole bunch of quality, not quality traffic. Man, here's the reality. You got 25 leads. I like to see a 10% conversion in terms of good leads. You got this one's a good one. This one's a good one. I think the hair one was a good one. So did I go over, Keyshawn said shoot, do 1K solar. You got three really good ones. I don't know what this one is in terms of industry, but like at least 3, 4. So like your
Yeah.
numbers are, remember, if you got 25 leads, right? 25 leads, I want to see at least 2.5 solid leads. So your numbers are just fine. So if we take the
Okay.
emotions out, just say the numbers are great. The numbers are fantastic. The numbers are doing exactly what they should be doing. The issue, I think, is something is going on with the discovery call. Here's how I diagnose and figure out something is an issue at the discovery call. One, people either don't show up to the sales call, or two, if they do show up to a sales call, they're showing up super closed off. That means something is most likely going on here. And I think I need to have a look at one of your discovery calls and kind of see what's going on. My feeling is that maybe you're talking a little bit too much about money. You're hinting too much about money. And so people are coming in and they're like, man, I don't want to hop on a sales call. This guy's already talking about money.
So I'll tell
That,
you what I haven't talked a lot about money after the first couple because you gave me that tip. So a lot of these, and I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but like the ones that are just opt-ins, they're not getting to the application, they're not getting to the text. So I call them, say, hey, Kaushik, I'm Jeremy Wood. I'm with Cinematic Visions. You sent me some information saying you'd be interested in this free video that I've done on Facebook. Oh, yeah, I remember sending you that. Well, do you have a minute where I can talk to you about, and I just do the discovery call right then. I don't book it. I just start, and in that situation, there have been most of these where I just didn't hit record. I just started going into it. So I'll start recording those again, but I just was trying so hard to get some sales calls booked that I'm like, I'm not going to mess with this recording because I'm on the phone. It's in Loom. I don't know why but it's not recording the audio. And so I've just been going right at it. And most of these calls, they go great if I can talk to them. And so like I told you, and this is where, like, when people get in front of me and maybe it is selling organically, when I get somebody in front of me who says, yeah, I'm interested, I seem to do pretty good. This one is the first time I haven't. So maybe I'm not good at selling on ads. So that helps to take some of the emotion out of it. If you're telling me, look, this is kind of normal, then that's okay. And I know a lot of my numbers are lower because I had to stop things for a little while because I was getting killed.
So a few things, Jeremy. You've said this multiple times, so I want to nip this in the butt. I want you to forget that you sell good organically. I want you to forget about it. It's
Okay.
irrelevant. Okay, so I don't want to hear that again. I love you, but I don't want to hear that again. And this
Yes.
it does, and this one, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you sell, like we had yeah, it doesn't apply in this world. It's like it's like you're in your house where you walk in and you wear shoes and then you're introduced to somebody else's house and the rules are you must take the shoes off. Complete set of different rules. So when it comes to ads, you're walking to a different house, different set of rules. Just the entire culture, everything. So that being said, in terms of your numbers, Jeremy, the number of qualified leads, good, bad leads, everything is normal. So if we take the emotions out of it, rest assured, it's doing exactly what it needs to be doing. I promise you. In terms of, I think what the issue might be is, like I said, the discovery call. So what I can do is I can have a look at one of them. I can have a look at one of them and I can kind of give you some tips that might help you out. I think that will help you out actually. Because I bet you there's something I'm going to see that maybe you're not seeing. So that's one of the 3 things I want to go over. The second thing I want to go over is that I know that it's frustrating for you right now. I know it's frustrating, like, hey, I'm having these conversations and they don't have money and da and this and that. What I want you to do is I want you to think about your agency in a year's time from now. You must go through this phase. You must go through it. You must experience, you must understand so that you can coach your mentee, so you can coach an employee, just like I'm speaking to you right now. And down the road, somebody will be taking all these calls for you. For example, Mason, he works with a personal trainer. That personal trainer gets like freaking 1,000 followers a month. And every single time somebody follows, there's somebody in the DMs having a conversation with them, setting up the discovery sales call, and then Lauren does the sales calls. So she's not doing all that stuff that you're doing right now. They got an employee doing all that. So down the road, you can have somebody doing these initial discovery calls, working all these leads. And so all of your time and energy is only focused on sales calls. That's what things will look like in a year's time. Not right now, but in a year's time. So that frustration that you feel, it's a season. It's not forever. It's just a season, I promise. But you got to learn all these nuanced things so that you can teach your employees, so you can teach whoever works for you. You got to go through it so you can teach it. So that's the second thing I want you to go understand is it's just, so one, we went over numbers. I think it's a discovery call thing. I'll have a look. Two, this is a short-term thing. Down the road, you'll have somebody handle this stuff for you, I promise you. So just future pace. Think about that for the future. My third thing, my biggest thing to you, my biggest thing to you, and this is when we spoke about it, a month or so ago, same thing. This was one of my biggest concerns. And I say this from a place of love and respect. You're in learning season, not earning season. I understand what you got going on with your wife. I understand that massive pressure. I understand it. But there's so much we have to learn. There's so much you have to do. And a year from now, the seeds that we're planting right now, Jeremy, you're going to see the fruits of those labor in about 6 months, in a year. You're not going to see them right now. Unfortunately, some people do. Some people do. But most people, it takes 6 months to a year. Ask Mason. Mason took him, how long, bro? How long did it take you? 2 years? 2 years for Mason. Some
Probably.
people are sooner than others. I'm not saying it's going to be 2 years for Jeremy, not even close. But it takes it. There's a lot that we have to learn. There's a lot that we have to do. And I promise you, so long as you keep going, you try not to get frustrated with yourself as much as you're getting frustrated, because what happened to you with her, Jeremy, you're going to have that happen 100 more times, man.
All right. Well, like I said,
But
fellas, sorry for coming on here with piss and vinegar. It just literally happened. I mean, 30 minutes before I got on the phone with you guys, I called her. This starts at 5 o'clock my time. I called her at 4 and I called her at 4:30. And then for 30 minutes, I just sat here and steamed. And so I just was, I was already playing in my mind coming on here going, Koshik advised me to do this and that, and I got the sale, I'm ready. It's, and everybody's way to go. And I come on here saying I effed it up. Sorry. But anyway, it's not, like I said, I believe in the system. My feeling or my fear is that somewhere in the line, I'm not connecting a dot. And I guess the big question, like I said, that gap that starts forming in my mind is like this lady, like I was telling you, I wouldn't make any money with her. So somebody please reassure me, when you get into the niching, there's money, right? I mean, like, so I'm already in my head.
I'll be the first one to say yes.
Okay.
Darte's cracking up right now.
In my head, feeling is, as I start to dream and envision and imagine, what niche I'd want to get into, I kind of feel like med spas are where I might want to be, because I have some friends in that industry. And they've talked to me about how much money they make. Not that I would, maybe I would go and offer this to them right out of the gate, but I just think it feels like, oh, these guys got money to spend. I wouldn't be sitting here talking about somebody being on government welfare.
Realistically, and something you probably don't want to hear is like, all niches suck. There's something within every niche that just sucks about it.
For
example, like one niche will be harder to crack in terms of like client acquisition for another one. And then one niche will be like service delivery. And then one niche will be this, one niche will be that. One will have more purchasing power, right? One might have higher buyer sophistication, right? So each niche is kind of a little bit different, but money is within the niches. But there's also just one thing I just want to bring up really quickly, because this isn't something that we did go over. And I just want to make sure that this is happening. This isn't affecting you or any of the outcomes that you're doing in terms of booking sales calls. So if you booked 9, so you have 25 leads, you booked 9, then 4 agreed to a sales call. So how are you booking the sales calls? Like, you're not sending them a calendar link, right? And like, how are you doing it?
Well, we verbally talk about it. I find out what time they want to do it. I do send them a calendar invite with a Zoom link. And then, as we get closer, I'll send an email or a text or a phone call. Just, hey, just checking in, letting you know, don't forget, kind of that thing.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to massage it so they know that I haven't forgotten.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things is I don't really ask them. like when they want to have the calls, I always try to push like between like 1 to 2 days of the call. So like if I have a discovery call with someone today, like tonight, and like the next hour, like I want to book a sales call with them either like tomorrow or the next day. So I don't give a week, I don't give anything honestly more than 2 days
Okay.
because I know that the show up rate dramatically decreases, right?
Yeah, I'm finding that.
Especially within my niche, dude. Like it's killer, it's brutal. Right, so
So
that's the first thing. The second thing is don't have them book in the calendar themselves.
no, I don't
Okay,
do
good. So you're booking in for them, right?
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So that's a good thing. Yeah, but I would say the number one thing is like if you're booking sales calls, like this number might be skewed, and the reason that is because you're not booking them out between like 1 and 2 days.
No, that's a
And I
good.
think if you do just that, like this number is gonna increase for you.
So in the niches, then you're not charging. I mean, these niches, when you're going in and talking to people, you're not saying, look, you're only going to spend $1,000 on. I mean, there's got to be some sort of fee for you. I struggle with that too in these calls. Is like, can you, Koshik, I do that. Can you afford $30 to $50 a day? And they say yes. And then I'm thinking, well, crap, man, now I've locked them into $1,000 or $1,500. And of course, I know I'm just selling to get through this phase. But that's what are you doing and maybe this is just too far and I don't need to worry about it. But that's what I have this like, okay,
Yeah,
if I am working in a med spa, you surely you work it out so that there's a fee plus your fee. So
it's a completely different discovery
okay.
call script and sales call script. It's
Okay.
very different.
Okay.
Way different.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop talking now, and I will not watch this call back. I have gone back and watched some of the other calls to get notes and listen to things when I couldn't be there. I will not be watching this call because I'm gonna probably lay in bed tonight thinking what a butthead I was when I first came on.
No, it's okay. Look, I think most of us have the episode you had. Everybody has one of them. Everybody has one of them.
Except for Ryan, who sold in 2 days.
Ryan's gonna have one. Just give him a week or two. You're gonna see him come in with patches of hair missing. When he gets frustrated, it'll happen. Happens to everybody.
Right. Everything you've just been talking about, even though I've pushed forward so quick, all of that was happening internally. So don't, it's not all glitz and glamour here, and just because I can turn over stuff fast and I've been super like proactive and hitting it. But keep in mind, I've been up till well past 12 o'clock every single night, right up to 3 o'clock. So I've been hunting through everything. I've been putting in a shit ton of hours because I want to speed this up. But at the same time, everything you have thought, all that everything you're feeling right now and have been feeling, I have had those exact same feelings internally, and I've kind of just, you show up. That's all I can say, man. It's just show up.
I may increase my ad spend to just try and get more numbers to give myself more opportunities. When I was a sales rep at AT&T and we had to do outbound phone calls. You ever get those? Some of these guys are too young probably, but you're sitting at dinner and somebody calls you to try and sell you a long distance phone. That's what I used to do. And when I first started, I was horrible at it, but I got good the more I got to do it. That's how I learn, is to actually get to put my hands on it, put my voice to it, and do it. And that's part of the frustration here is a lot of these, I can't get people, they're not getting over to the applicant or the texting. So I'm just reaching out to these people in the opt-in stage and they almost are like, what is this? I don't remember filling that out. And, but I'm calling them because I want to get good at it. And I feel like if I can't get to talk to somebody, I can't make the mistakes or find these gaps, like apparently the one I did today when the lady was doing the hair. So as I mentioned, destroy the first hour of this when you put it back in the Slack. But it's weird. I want you guys all to know this. I don't know any of you really. I mean, Koshik and Mason are the two I've talked to the most, but I feel like I'm part of this group and I'm part of a team. And when you're in a team, you don't want to be the guy who's not done what he's supposed to do. So in addition to like wanting to do this for myself, wanting to do this for my wife. I want to do it for Koshik and Mason. I want to show them I can do it, because after a while, the machismo starts kicking in. You're like, oh, I can do this. And if you don't believe me, let's get the ball on the court and I'll show you, you know. But it's also this team, you know, you guys, I want to do it for you guys too. I want to show I can be part of the team and I can. And so, yeah, thanks. Anyway, I will get through. I will get through at some point. I'll get through.
You will, Jeremy. In terms of homework, in terms of what we can do to fix this, and there's nothing to fix, by the way. Again, I think what it is, Jeremy, is like, I'll be honest with you, is like, yeah, there's stuff to fix, but there's stuff to fix with everybody. Some people just have less things to fix than others. You don't have anything out of the ordinary in terms of numbers of things that we have to fix. Like, in terms of how much I have to coach and consult with you, it's not out of the ordinary. I want you to know that. I think here, if you look at my hands, I think your expectations and the reality, there's just a huge discrepancy. That's what I think it is. And you see Mason on his hand. What I mean by that is, like, you think, based off of your experience, you being in the game for 20 years and closing people and doing what you think it's supposed to be like this, but it's really like this. And there's a huge gap here, and you're just not aware. Here's how ads work. And it's going to cost you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months until you realize, hey, man, I've grown up in the United States, and here's what it's like to be in India. We don't even get clean water here. There's a huge disparity in terms of expected. That's what I think is going on. And the sooner you can close the gap, the sooner you'll start to be happy in this game.
Well, just you saying that my numbers don't look nutty, that helps.
Yeah, maybe
Because in my head, I'm thinking, I must be just somehow or another, I'm not doing the ads right. Because in my head, I'm just thinking, why am I'm not, that's why I asked that question today. Has anybody done anything where you improve your ads? Because most of mine have been these weird, you know, somebody, I'm not going to share it with you because it's obscene, but they filled out the form with all these funny names and words. So, you know, I'm just like, man, I paid for that, you jerk. So anyway, sorry again. I'll let you guys move on. I'm going to watch for a little while in silence, and then I'm going to head off to cheer on my team tonight, kick the New Orleans Saints rear ends.
Sounds good. The main takeaway is this, Jeremy. The main thing we can work on, right? The main thing we can work on is reviewing one of your discovery calls. Let me review.
I'm going to go back and watch the ones you guys have as examples. I've watched a handful of those. I think I'll go back and watch them again.
Okay. Okay. I think in terms of like helping it, I think that's what I can do. I can review a discovery call, and then what's happened with her, the solar guy, the painter. Again, it might not seem normal to you, but this is what I do with all the guys. Hey, what happened? Okay, here's what we do next. Here's what happened. Okay, here's what we don't do. And then it just clicks for somebody, and then they close. That's what it is. So what we've been doing is very normal. So now you know for the next one, hey, if she's out doing something, I'm going to push it to an actual Zoom. Hey, for the solar guy, I'm not going to do XYZ. I'm going to do something different. For the painter, I'm going to do something different. This one, again, I feel like this could be a good one to see what happened on that call, the painter one, and maybe there's something that you said that is going to be not as obvious to you, but more obvious to me. And maybe that
one, I think he did start asking me about money, if I recall.
Okay.
The solar guy was just a slam dunk. And then, like I told you in the sales call itself, he proposed the profit sharing on me, and it just threw me off balance. And I hadn't encountered that. I didn't know what to say except, oh, okay. Because I thought I'll just get, you know, this will be a sale. So yeah.
Here's the thing for me. Here's the thing. Here's your reality. The reality is, out of those 25, this is not a bad thing. Think about this in a positive light. This was a sale in my book. This also was a sale. Both of these were sales. You, in this game and paid ads, the difference between winning and losing is razor sharp. It's on the freaking edge. You say one thing wrong, you do one thing wrong, you lose a sale. Both of these, you just didn't know any better. You just didn't know. But honestly, I feel like both these are sales. And I think if we were to go back in time now, Jeremy, I think you would close both of these. That's true, I believe.
I'd get Miss Keyshawn, that's for sure.
I think you close her. For what it's worth, I think you close both of them. And so I know that it makes you feel better hearing about the KPIs, but just the last sentence I said, hopefully that makes you feel better. If I were to take that away.
Well, I apologize again. I really don't remember what I said because I was pretty emotional. So I hope I didn't say anything that was offensive or like pointing a finger. That's not what I was intending. I had been stewing for 30 minutes. So
You're okay. You
nobody go back and watch it.
We're all good.
All
All right,
right.
Jeremy. If you have more things, we'll certainly circle back. I know you're gonna be hanging out for only a little bit, but if you have questions, of course, just let me know, okay? Okay. Mr. Rodarte, I think I answered your question. Are the rest of your questions like for Mason?
No, I got a couple questions I've thought of.
Fire away.
Just want to offer some words of encouragement to Jeremy, man. Like I'm in a similar situation as far as my wife. My wife was pregnant when I started this journey, and we now have under two. And I was laid off in December, and so like I know the pressure that comes along with that, and coming from like a 9 to 5 cushy job, and all that to say, man, is I didn't have any sales experience. So if I can get this far, you can.
Well, you got a good t-shirt on, so that speaks volumes about you. I do a good Reagan impression too.
Well, let's hear it.
Well, my fellow Cinemarketer salespeople, I stand here before Koshik today, and I say, tear down these sales. How's that?
I look at Frank Caliendo.
So strongly, believe it.
Mason, Jeremy reminds me of Jacob #1.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking. I know.
I used to do a sports talk show. Believe me, lately I've been thinking maybe I need to just go back into radio, because having people call up and tell you suck is a lot less stressful than this sometimes. So,
Mr. Rodarte, what questions do you have for me?
Okay, so far with these demos that I've had this month anyway, it seems that like tech is going to be an issue. Like I don't even think one guy even has a Facebook, and then I brought up Slack, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Why can't we just text?" And so I'm just wondering, like, as far as onboarding, do you think it's still like, should I just set the standard like, no, we're using Slack and that's it, or am I kind of like, is it case by case basis?
It's definitely not case by case basis. That I'll tell you for sure, because if you have one person from Slack and one person from text, you're gonna pull your freaking hair out.
Okay.
To answer your question, what I would recommend doing is like, yeah, it could be a niche thing, man, where you have people on text. It could be a niche thing where you have them on WhatsApp. I will tell you very confidently, having a bunch of people on text is not the move for sure. I feel relatively confident it's gonna be something like having it on Slack. So I think it might be a thing of just, again, you being a better leader, a better communicator, an organizer for these guys. I think that could be the thing.
Okay. And then like the guy I was onboarding is scheduled for Wednesday, and today I reached out to him asking for, I'm trying to set up his SMS number and asking him for the EIN and all that. He just wasn't responsive today. So I mean, he's paid me, of course. So I'm just like, well, there's that, but it just kind of makes me think like, all right, well, is this guy taking this seriously, or because he didn't seem to be in a hurry to schedule the onboarding. So I'm just kind of like wondering, like, what are your thoughts on that?
So what's your specific question? It's you schedule out the onboarding a week later, and then you're asking for X and he's not giving you X. Like, what exactly is the question?
I guess just your thoughts on, like, is that something that's cause for concern, or is it fine? So I closed them on Wednesday, and then the conversation was like, yeah, we're gonna launch right away on Monday. We'll schedule onboarding. Like, when are you free? And then he says, oh, I'm not free until Wednesday or Friday. So of course I picked Wednesday because it's earlier, obviously. And then, I've been kind of like texting him. Today I texted him, asking him for information. And there was like no response. So I'm like, okay, well, I have his money. So there's that, but I'm just wondering if that's cause for concern or no.
I wouldn't freak out. if you're asking me, I think what you're asking me is like, hey, is it a red flag? Like for sure, obviously it's a red flag. Obviously, somebody that's vested and interested, they're gonna like this is gonna be the top of their mind. If they feel like, hey man, I'm about to lose my business and this Rodarte guy is gonna save me, like for sure, he should be more bought in. So there's something going on there. Maybe he's not in dire need. Maybe I don't know. Like, is that the case? Like, is he in a place where his business is doing okay and he's not gonna like be out of business or
Oh yeah,
um
he's fine. He's doing well.
Okay, so that's part of it, maybe. Another part of it is maybe the fact that you booked it out so far that he's lost a little bit of emotions, right? He's hot and heavy, and then maybe some emotions, he's getting a little bit cold. Um, so, for me, what I like to do is I like to just like book it out like right away. And again, I know in your case, you have to set up a whole bunch of stuff and everything like that. Um, so does that answer your question or no?
Yeah, I guess I would just wonder, yeah, if it's I'll just take it as like a one-off maybe and like just learn my lesson as far as like making sure that the
Look at
onboarding is booked sooner.
It's not even sooner. It's literally the next day. I have lost so many sales, gotten people to say, hey, can I get the money back? Da, 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 because I didn't book it out literally the next day. So moving forward, the next day. And for everybody, as you're listening, Ryan, Cam, everybody, you close a deal the next day within 24 hours has to be the onboarding.
Okay.
And you got to keep them warmed up and excited before then. For me, for example, somebody closes, we get somebody to say, hey, Chris, I want to work with you. Okay, great. You're going to talk to Mason. Me and you go back forward. Do you like Mason? Do you have a great conversation with them? It's warm leading up to the onboarding.
Yeah. And then I had two more demo calls that I didn't close. But they're still on the hook. I told you about the contract, the guy that wants a contract.
Yeah.
So I was able to like put together this rinky dinky looking little contract. So I called him this morning and just like he asked if I sent it. I said, yeah, he's like, okay, I'll look it over and get back to you. And that was that. So this other guy, I tried doing the hell yeah, hell no. And his response was he says, well, I ain't no goddamn cheerleader. And so it's kind of made me laugh and like lose like a little bit of face, I guess. And then he was just like, I'm gonna take my time making a decision. And I was just like, oh well, yeah, that sounds fair. Just kind of like moving on. So with that being said, like the demo call went really well, and he was actually like thoroughly impressed. And I know it's because he said so. He wanted his son on the call because he didn't know anything to do with Facebook or like again like that's why I was thinking like tech might be an issue. But like I kind of blew his mind because he said he had like 4 trucks, but only 2 are operating, or 2 are he only runs 2. The other 2 are fine. They work fine. He just doesn't use them. And then when I said, yeah, we can actually run ads to get you workers, and like he kind of like was like, what? So I never even thought of that. You're really impressing me now. And then all that to say is like, yeah, he already told me that he had one other call. I don't know with who. I guess another outfit, and he'd be calling back on Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to a response from there. But yeah, I just felt like I lost my mojo there when he's like telling me he's no goddamn cheerleader, and I thought it was funny though.
Yeah. Okay. So a few things. Hell yeah, hell no. When do you do that? Do you do that before you get into the demo of like, hey, here's John, work before and before, or during, after, here's how the system works. Do you do the hell yeah before you do all that? Do you do the hell yeah right before the pricing?
Before the first part, before introducing him the HVAC guy.
Okay, so guys, and I think I went over this with Cam. I'm gonna create a training and I'm gonna move around the slides, and I'm doing this with Alman on Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm just gonna share it with you guys. So the new slides and everything. So you want to do the hell yeah, hell no thing right before pricing.
Okay.
This is what I came to find. The reason for that is, think about it, you have the discovery, you have all the stuff. They're not emotionally bought in yet. So yeah, they're gonna say like, I ain't no goddamn cheerleader. Like they're gonna give you that kind of shit. But imagine you like blow them away. You had this amazing training. Hey, we could run for your employees. We could do this, we could do that. Here's how the machine works. Now what's gonna happen? I'm seriously impressed, right? So now when you go in with like, hey man, before we get, and then what's gonna happen after you do the demo, there's a section where you're like, okay, do you have questions? They go back and forth through the questions, and then there's finally like nothing left. And they're gonna go, well, what's the price, Daniel? And you're like, okay, next slide. Well, hey man, I'm happy to go pricing with you. I just have one request. Is that cool? Now you do the hell yeah, hell no. Now that works. If you psychologically can think about that.
Yeah.
There's so much buy-in, there's so much like, yeah, do I respect this guy? We're gonna get into pricing. Now makes sense to do hell yeah, hell no thing. He doesn't want me to give him a maybe. So moving forward, do that for the hell yeah, hell no.
Okay.
So something that's important is like me and I'm going to talk about this as well. When you have somebody who, in my experience, whenever somebody buys, they're typically buying from you when you're the first person or the last person, not usually the middle person.
Well, that's
So what I mean,
discouraging.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's just something to keep in mind moving forward. For everybody is like, usually you're going to be the very first person they're going to talk to. You're going to blow them away and they're going to buy from you. Or they're planning on talking like 4 or 5 people, and then usually it's gonna be the last person they're gonna buy from. So this is something you just want to keep in mind. I don't have a solution for you. I really don't have a solution in terms of, I wish I had a solution for you. I'm just kind of educating you. I don't have a solution for you in terms of how to handle Tanner Chittister. What Tanner does is he says to people, hey, look, you're speaking with another marketer. Okay, great. How about this? Why don't you follow up with them first? And then we can continue the rest of the conversation. So I think what he does, the way he does it, he does a good amount of the conversation and then he gives them blue balls. So the part that they really want to know, I don't remember exactly what it is. It's one of Tanner's videos. He says, hey, why don't you go talk to them and then come back to me and then we'll go over this last thing. Go
So
ahead, Ryan.
I just seen something pop up about pretty much exactly what you're explaining there. If you are in that situation where they are looking at other potential marketers, or if they're going to jump on phone calls with anyone else, and basically it's you ask the question of, okay, that sweet. If you don't mind me asking, if you do go, well, when you go and talk to these guys, if they pretty much can do the exact same thing, or sorry, get you the exact same results you're looking for, and basically at a similar price, what's going to be your determining factor between all of them? And at that point, they should say, well, the customer internally, they'll be thinking like, okay, well, what's actually going to be the differentiating factor? They're going to give you the answer of what they're mostly looking for. And then that's what you're going to turn around and you say, oh, cool. Like you can quickly think about it and you can double down on what they just said.
That's
that
good.
Makes sense.
That's fucking brilliant. That's really good. That's really good. So there you go, Rodarte. I'm gonna write that on in my back pocket as well. So does that make sense, Rodarte, or do you need to go?
So if they're saying like, well, I want more leads, then just kind of like go back and be like, well,
no. I think what you have to do is you have to really set it up. I think that's the secret sauce of what Ryan just said. Is like the secret sauce is, okay, so got it. You're having another conversation on the market. I guess like just really quick, I'm just curious. Assuming we're offering you very similar services, very similar products, similar price point. I guess like what would be the distinguishing factor between you making your decision? Like, I guess like how would you make your decision? And what's going to happen is they're not going to give you the answer of leads because both people are giving leads. They're going to say something along the lines of, well, I think for me, it's going to be the fastest turnaround time in terms of a response, customer service. Like, there you go. Right, Ryan? It's going to be something very nuanced and specific. Yep. So now let's say somebody were to say that to me. Let's just say theoretically there was somebody to say that to me. And then I'm like, okay, by the way, what's the company? And then let's say it's some like this big, massive company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my sales pitch. When I come into my pitch and presentation, it's like, hey, so John, just really quick, I know that, one of the things that's very important to you is like the turnaround time. We're not a big company. We pride ourselves actually being a 10, client company. And the reason for that is because we want to have touch points. So it's always going to be you, me, and a CSM. And so in other words, when you ever have a question, it's literally a response right away. And then I maybe pull up my screen and show all the clients, all the conversation, all the interactions. The difference between and the reason we do this and we don't have a big massive client, we used to have a big tier before, is because what happens now, you have a chain of operation, order of operations, and it gets very hard to actually communicate with clients. So I know you brought up, for example, XYZ company. So that's just something I want to bring up. Does that make sense, John? Okay. Tier 2, the other reason that we're different, boom. Do you see what we're doing there? So what would the differentiating factor? They gave you the secret sauce. Now you build it up into your pitch. Now what's going to happen is they're going to be like, fuck, I don't even know if I want to have a conversation with the other guys. I'll buy from Rodarte right now.
Got it. Yeah, he told me this during the demo. So like towards the end of the demo. So I didn't really have too much time to think on my feet. But yeah, I guess that's something I could ask. Or I don't think I should even ask, right?
Put that some no, you should. So two things I'm thinking about right now as I have this conversation with you. We're gonna change up the hell yeah, hell no. Whenever it comes to the last person, you need to put that somewhere in your discovery call, your sales call. You need to figure that out. So when it comes to your discovery call or your sales call, something along the lines of that, it's like, hey, John, so just really quick, I mean, have you worked with a marketer in the past? No, I never worked. Got it. So you're having a conversation with me. I'm just curious, like, are you having a conversation with other people? Am I the first one? Am I the second one? The reason I'm asking is if you've done this whole song and dance, I can get right into it with you. But if you haven't, I think it's best if I, really massage this and give you all the information you need. Makes sense? So now you're getting them to tell you if they're speaking with other marketers or not. Now, if they are, boom, now you have the line that what Ryan and I just talked about, which is what is a differentiating factor. So that needs to be a part of your discovery call somehow. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other thing you told me that is like you got a nip in the bud is a son thing. So he said something along his son, right? So are you telling me that he said, hey man, this all sounds good. I just got to have my son talk to you. Like, where did that come from?
That came in the discovery call. He said he wanted his son to be on the call, and I said, great. What, like, let's make sure he's on it.
Okay.
And the plan was for his son to be on the demo call as well, but he just wasn't. So when we got on, I said, hey, I'm going to be giving you a lot of information, and I know that, social media specifically isn't your forte, and you really wanted your son there. So I don't have a problem rescheduling this when your son's available. And he said, no, let's go. I don't know when he'll be available.
So
We had it on a Sunday, I think, or Saturday, the call.
So pause. Learning lesson here. You want to do the opposite of that. What I try to do is, even if somebody says, hey, I got a wife or I got a partner, I basically make them say like, hey, you don't fucking need them. I'm trying to actually get rid of people. Even if somebody's got a wife, Ryan will tell you right now, literally me and Ryan are talking. I'm like, hey man, so does a wife make this? You're like, no. Are you sure, bro? She's not going to come yell at me, is she? Right? And so literally you want to do it that way. So instead of saying, hey man, I know that social media is not your forte and all that, what's that going to do? It's going to scare the shit out of him. He's like, fuck, I got to have my son here. What you want to do instead is you want to say, got it. So I know me and you spoke about having your son here. The truth is, man, it's just Facebook ads, Instagram, like literally it's this. There's not much more to it. If you really want, I can certainly have a conversation with your son, but I think what I'm going to share with you is everything you kind of see. I'm BSing right now. I'm not doing a good job of it, but it's the inverse. You do the inverse of what you're doing, but then you also got to give them some pressure to test them out to see if they're going to bail on you. So you're going to say, hey, look, it's really simple. And if you want, I can have a conversation with your son too. If you want, we can certainly schedule this out. Like, what do you want to do? And if you do it the right way, what he's going to say is like, no, I don't need my son. I'm good. This sounds really simple. And then you're going to go, are you sure? Are you 100% sure we don't need your son right now? So now what I've done is I backed him into a corner where he can't give me the objection of, I got to talk to my son. That's what you should be doing. Make sense?
Yeah.
So you want to do that next time. So you did good. What you did on the discovery call, bang on. In terms of saying, hey, look, we need your son there. Everybody else makes a decision. However, moving forward in the future, you got to do one of two things. You got to do what I just said, or you got to reschedule so that you don't run into this in the future.
Okay.
Those are the three things that came to my mind when you just went over those stories. But yeah, keep going. What else do you want to share or questions you have?
What is concerns I had? I had a conversation with Cam earlier through voice notes, and we're talking about, our niches are so similar, but the video that Cam had with the niche expert, Flash, I think it was, at the beginning or towards the beginning, him saying like, oh yeah, Facebook ads aren't really good for this. It's all about like the Google ads. At that point, I'm much like calmer now about it, but I was just like, well, what the fuck? Like, why are we doing this? Like, so speaking with Cam, it's like him and I were on the same train of thought as far as like we, just move forward with Facebook ads. I think I do see ads for HVAC services and installs and all that, so I know it works. And then as far as like the Google ads, I guess my worry was like I'm on my own, like, but I got like I think I at least got a month to figure it out once I start like close a client. So I guess just like I don't know, is there anything words of encouragement or like any homework that I should be doing?
Wait, so you said when you said like, what the hell, what are you talking about there? What are you referring to? You're referring to, ah, shit, I got to figure out Google ads, or, ah,
Yeah,
damn it, about that. Like, I guess
because this whole thing is for ads on Facebook and Instagram, and then now this niche expert is saying that doesn't work for this niche. It's all about um, Google service ads, or so um,
The way that I interpreted that call was Google is the number one choice, but it wasn't so much that Facebook ads doesn't work. It's just that you're marketing to a different side of people in terms of the funnel. Like Google is already the people that are looking for a duct cleaner in the area. The only reason why you'd find them on Google is because they're searching for duct cleaners in their area. So it's kind of at the bottom funnel. It's people who want it urgently. Facebook though is just like what we've been doing. So you might have to go on 10 discovery calls and close 5 or 3, where on Google you might be closing 70% of them because they're already looking for it. But I don't think it's that Facebook doesn't work. I think it's Google's number one, but Facebook is number 2. Like I'm gonna still stick with Google, but I don't know. That's kind of how I interpret the call. He's like, Facebook works, but in terms of what we put our money towards, we find that Google's kind of number one. But I know how to do Facebook, so I think my angle is just to straight up do Facebook and learn Google in the meantime and get really
If
good.
if you want words of encouragement, Rodarte, Google local service ads are probably the easiest ads in the fucking world to run.
Yep.
Like, bro, so easy. Like local businesses like that aren't running them, it's like a gold mine. It takes not long to set up at all either. Like it's so easy, dude.
So
okay.
few things that I spoke to Ken about, and this applies to you as well. Again, it depends on what the niche expert. So, I mean, like, what makes you assume that YouTube is, I'm sorry, Google is going to work based off of what Cam said his conversation was like with the duck guy? You're assuming that you're going to hear the same thing?
Well, our niches are so similar, duct cleaning and like a service, like people that would Google, right? Like, oh, I need an HVAC repair, so let me Google that. Not so much like, hey, Pilates, it's just like it's out there if you want it, like it's a necessity. But also it just coming from the niche expert,
Yeah.
what he says he does and doesn't do.
So I'm probably gonna miss some stuff here. I'm gonna try not to, but basically you've got the searcher and you've got the scroller. Are you familiar with those terms?
Yes.
So with the searcher, you're going to be on Google searching for the thing. Hey, I need HVAC. I need this. I'm looking for a wedding video. Hey, my hard drive broke. I'm looking for a solution. Nobody's waiting, for a Facebook ad when their hard drive crashes, right? Mason gives that example a lot. So I do think that when it comes to HVAC and cleaning, like Google local service ads are going to work great. And like Mason said, they're really simple to set up. The way these ads are set up, by the way, are like where if somebody becomes a lead and like it's like a fake number or something happens, like the client doesn't pay for it. So the client is literally only paying for good leads.
Mhm.
So that's like the beautiful part about Google local service ads. So only if the client wants a service as a good lead is the client even paying for that. Now the other thing is these are I think the reason that guy was saying what he was saying is because he's not running ads doing a bait and switch. He's running ads and it's like, hey, do you want your duct thing clean? It's $1,000 or whatever. Like it's a high ticket price. They're not trying to sell something for $97, get somebody in and then upsell them, which is what we do at Medical Spas, is what I do with my low ticket course, which requires a ton of skill. They're just saying, hey, do you want the thing? You click it, you go to the website, you sign up, boom, you're there. That's what is going on with them. So it's very top of funnel. It's very, hey, I want this thing. Versus when it comes to Facebook, it's like, hey, somebody like maybe there's an issue with the HVAC or duct, but it's not like the top of their mind. It's like the most important thing. And so I'm sorry, this is opposite tofu and bofu. I should switch these.
Yeah, I was wondering, I thought I had that backwards. Okay.
Yeah. So basically the people that are not super like serious about like not serious, but like it's not the biggest problem in their mind. If they see a Facebook, they're like, oh, well, let me go and click on it. It's not the most important thing to me, but hey, look, there you got some for $97. Huh. Let me go check that out. Does that make sense? So the people on Bofu that are searching, this is a huge issue. They're searching, they need a solution. They're willing to pay a good amount. They need to get it solved. It's hurting, it's painful. People on Facebook, they're like, hey, I just want a good deal. It's not that big of an issue for me. So it's a different kind of buyer. And so for me, what I feel like is going on with the guy that Cam is speaking to is he's just not very, my opinion is either he's not very skilled at this, where, again, you free video commercial, the video is free, but you got to pay for ads and here's the script and here's all, it requires a lot of skill, a lot of bait and switch. And I think that maybe he's just not, one, either he's not good at it, or two, because he's worked with a bunch of duck business cleaning owners, he knows that for him to train them is going to be is going to be hell. Like for me right now, it's very challenging, right? Again, you guys saw what's going on with Jeremy. It's very challenging for me to help Jeremy see it and work through it and have success with this funnel. It requires a lot of skill. And so I think part of it is that as well, is he doesn't want to work with a bunch of duck business cleaning owners where they just want the leads, do the thing. They don't want to do a bunch of bait and switch. They don't want to do a bunch of sales. I think that's a part of it as well. Now, at the end of the day, I think you should do what works. If a niche expert is telling you something, I would do it. In my opinion, I would do it. I think whatever somebody's telling you that they've already put in the work, they've already figured out, like you should do that. It doesn't make for you to try to do something on your own, it might work, it might not work. It may or may not work, and you're gambling. And the other thing is like you should be omni-channel. Like if you really want to be the GOAT, you do Facebook ads and you're going to do Google ads and you're going to do TikTok. You're going to do it all because that's what's going to allow you to retain the client for a year plus. My gut feeling, I looked at painters, for example. If we look at like the entire budget, if this is the entire budget, this budget is like Google, and then this budget is like Facebook. I have a feeling that Duct is similar. Duct and HVAC is similar, where a lion's share of the ad spend is going to be Google, and some of the ad spend is going to be Facebook. That's what I think.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of education. I don't know how helpful that is. I think what you're looking for is more than education. You're looking for, hey, what do you recommend doing? I would recommend having a conversation with an HVAC agency owner, and I would see what kind of ads are running. That's flat out, like, that's it. And
Yeah.
I would start there. And if you want to run some Facebook ads, again, Riviera has done a few, and maybe you have a conversation with Riviera, do some Facebook stuff to hold your client over while you have a conversation with a niche expert, something like that. But I would always start with what is proven.
Got it.
Does that help at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just man, this is like high highs and low lows, and like the higher the highs, the lower the lows are.
Why? Why do you say that?
I mean, it's just that's my experience so far. It's like I'm all excited. I got a client, and then I hear from the niche expert like, oh yeah, Facebook ads don't work. It's like, oh man, and then it's just like, oh well, just like a ping pong, man. It's like bouncing back and forth as far as like emotions. But it's part of the fun, I guess.
You're almost done. It's ping ponging so much. It's like the stock market's just insane. It stops when you start getting some leads and clients for your client. That's when you finally feel a little bit stable.
Yeah. But I'm glad, like I said, I got one client and I got demos scheduled and the leads are coming in. So I'm like optimistic.
Good.
Something I don't know if this is worth bringing up, but like something
Look into sorry, Mason, just one last thing. Mason brought this up. Look into Google local service ads. Go do a little bit of research.
Yeah, Mason actually just sent me a link.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, like, in terms of stressing out about service delivery and whether it be Facebook that gets the results, whether it be Google, it doesn't really matter the marketing channel. Like, because you're running a marketing agency now and you kind of are done with that free video commercial stage, like there's options that you can pick, right? And one of the things that I kind of strive to, I guess put my back on and make sure it's pretty much correct most times is like know how to do it before you hire someone, right? But I think in some cases, it's actually smart to do the opposite. As long as your intentions is to learn from the person that you've hired, right? So for example, you can completely run this agency, this HVAC model, without even knowing how to run a fucking Google ad. You can literally hire someone, right? Have a base pay and have a percentage based off how many clients and then have them run all the ads. You realistically can do that without knowing anything. So in terms of service delivery, like you don't even have to worry about that because you can find someone, you can interview people, you can see who's worked with HVAC before, who's got them results, take a peek into the Google ads that they set up. At the end of the day, you're the ones managing them, right? And then go from there. You don't even have to touch Google ads if you don't want to.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I guess everything could be outsourced.
Yeah. So I mean, if your service fee is, 2,000 a month, pay someone 500 a month for an account and then add an additional 200 bucks a month for every client you sign.
One thing I want you guys to know, I'm sorry, Mason, go ahead if there's other things that you
No,
want.
that's it. But that's a perspective that you can think in as well. Instead of being like, fuck, how am I gonna learn this thing in 30 days? It's like, dude, go buy someone else's expertise and learn off them.
The best agencies I've seen, man, honestly, there you've got your Hormozis who have figured it out themselves, and then you've got the people that have like hired other people, right? I just shared something with Cam. A guy had an agency like 70 grand a month. He found an orthodontist, paid him like 300 bucks an hour for an hour, and then just ran that exact play for like 4 years for all of his clients. All right. So anyways, what was I gonna say? Been experimenting with this thing I've been sharing with you guys, which is like, hey, 6.5K or 5K or 1K trial. And I know you guys have both been doing that, and it's going to be easy, but like I would suggest trying to do less of that because I've had bad in terms of like people actually staying on with that. So I've shared that with Aman as well because Aman has been doing the same thing, 6.25K, 5K, or 1K trial. What ends up happening is if you offer the 1K, something happens psychologically in people's mind where they're not fully bought in. They're like, oh, I can just back out of this thing. I'm not fully in. I'm just doing this trial. So instead, I would recommend 6.25K or payment plan. Don't do the 1K. And the only reason you do the 1K, I should have been more clear about this, is if they have had some kind of trauma or you don't think you're going to close a deal. So, hey, let's do the 6.25K or 20% off. It's 5K. In your case, I'd like to do a trial with you, get you in for $1,000, get you some results, da 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 da. And then afterwards, as long as you pay off within the 30 days, you'll get this discount. Again, that's only if they've had some kind of trauma, some bad thing has happened. Make sense, guys? Or are you guys lost?
I got it.
I've been doing it where it's like a non-refundable thing. So I kind of do the first two, so the 6.25, and then I go to the 5, and then I usually wait till I'm like, I can't get out of this. So then I kind of cave and I'm like, for you specifically, I'd like to do this because of this. How does that sound? So we can build your trust. And then I say the only catch is that it's a non-refundable, and the reason why we do that is because it's already whatever. So that's the way I've been doing it. I don't know if that's the way that you taught it or
That's fine. That's fine, but it doesn't solve the problem. The problem is what? The problem is people do not pay off the remaining balance after within the 30 days. People do the 1,000 and then they bounce.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is don't do that unless they've got some trauma, unless you feel like, hey, I got to collect something. I'm scared shitting my pants. Force yourself to start doing the 6.525 or the 28. Do this one. Only do this as your backup option because I've seen in multiple cases and I've got enough experience where if you do the 1,000, the 1,500, the trial, people do not pay off the remaining balance.
Okay.
The only way I would do the 1,000, by the way, is, and again, this doesn't apply to you guys right now, but the only way I would do is if you got somebody for $1,000 and like within 7 days you make them like 10 grand. If you guys are that good, fuck yeah, do the 1,000 all day long. But I'm telling you, for most people, you charge them $1,000, they're not going to get enough results within 30 days that they're going to want to stay on. Real life example, Kilman. Love Kilman. He's not here right now. There's a reason. That's what I offered him. I didn't think Kilman would be actually a good fit for a program. And again, you guys all met Kilman. And what I told him is, hey, man, I don't know if the program is going to be a good fit for you. And he was just really adamant. I want to join. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. Instead of buying the course for 1,500, I'll give you a month of coaching for free. And then after that, if you want to continue, you can pay off the remaining balance. If not, no worries. Guess what? Kilman closed a deal, $700 a month. He's not here. Case in point. Right? So instead, do the 6.25K, the 5K. Don't do this. It's not going to work out usually.
Okay.
Bridge Archer, what else you got for us?
That's it. I'm actually interested in hearing what Cam has to say, or like just be a fly on the wall for that one. But it's something I have to like watch back because I got to get to my family right now.
Okay, cool.
But looking forward to hearing it.
Cool. Cam, do you want to do Mason questions first, or Where do you want to, how do you want to do this?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even really remember what I put up there. Let me see. Yeah, can we start with yeah, let's start with Masons and then maybe we can go into the nitty gritties of like all the other stuff. That's cool, Mason.
Yeah, dude, fire away.
Okay.
If you guys have a bunch of tech stuff, though, that's going to take a bunch of time. I don't think, obviously that'd be better use of time doing it later. But if it's simple stuff,
The one that I actually, this one's not so much about, I'll just do what I need. The one that I was wondering is like how to include someone onto a Zoom call. Let's say I discovery call. They want to go to a demo call. How do I add an invite? Because I saw Rich do that. He's like, "Go anybody on the call?" And he's like, "Yeah, this." And then he says the email. Then you add that onto the call. But I haven't figured out a way to do that other than when let's just pick Dimitri here.
So because you're using a link that's the same as every time from your meetings, it's not automatically being randomly generated. That link's gonna work no matter what. So you can just send them an email. You can say like on your form when they're booking, if you send them to a form, you can say something along the lines of, who would you like me to send the email invitation to, or something along the lines of that. And if there's anyone else, you can add them as well, right? And then it should send to both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's a way where you can have like two inputs.
Yeah.
Or what you can do is you can type in like if your business partner, like if you have a business partner, put in their email as well so they can get a Zoom link. You can easily add that, and then it'll collect that email, and then you can see it on the form, and then you'll make sure that you blast to both the emails.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. All right, yeah, I was just kind of wondering if there's a way where I could just add two emails like right here. That'd be kind of hot, but I don't think
Yeah, no, I wish, but you can add like an additional info, and then have like business partners email or something along the lines of that. Or in your
it's not too big of a deal. I'm getting by fine. It's only like it's rare that somebody wants somebody on there anyway. So, let's see what else I got. This one I don't think we have to do right now. I got a lot of other stuff to do, like probably a month's work of work before that's
Which one?
even. How to create a high level estimate calculator. You kind of showed me how to do the forms, but I was wondering like there's got to be a secondary thing for I guess what I would want is not just a form, but based off of the answers, there's some sort of edit automation in the background that when somebody puts in a lead, which would be through the form and getting a free quote, it would get brought to the duct cleaning business and they could see what the answers are and hopefully it spits out a general quote that automatically gets sent to them via text and email and is like, what would be a great time for us to come out and service this for you? So in that case, it would have to be an automation where based off of their answers that they put in, it spits out a quote based on what the duct cleaning business agreed upon in terms of like if they added a bathroom fan or if they had a house that's 2,000 plus square feet versus 1 square feet. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but based off the answers, it would change the quote number. And that would be an automation in the background where they'd get a text that's the same for everybody, but the quote would be different for whoever put in the form, obviously. Yeah, that's kind of the end of that. Like I said, that's pretty down the road, and I don't think we need to worry about that. But maybe that's something you could probably maybe think about, or if you know how to do it already, that'd be nice. But yeah, does that make sense the way I explained it?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Is that something that we could look into in the future?
Yes.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too. I mean, it sounds complicated, but it's probably not as complicated as I think it is.
Right. I'll just show you an example. So these guys are the ones that like the specialist I talked to, he was with them forever. And their main site pretty much tunnel visions you to get a free estimate and schedule now. Those are kind of the two options. And he says 70% of the people they get leads through getting an estimate. And then the other 30% kind of just schedule now based off of whatever the nurturing process was before they got to the site. But yeah, in terms of this is what theirs looks like. There's another one called like Mighty Ducks. I can send them to you if you really want them, but it's all pretty much just
you can send them or send that one or whatever.
good. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll do that after this call. Yeah, I'll just keep on moving. This one, me and Koshik already addressed. Yeah, I paused on my ads after reading your thing, Koshik. I was like, shit, but at the same time, not shit. I'm going to be away for the next 5 days. I gotta do a demo call while I'm away, but I'm going to visit my brother's like in Victoria, so I'm going to be on the move. I'm probably have to find a cafe or some silence to do it. I just stopped him because I just wanted to chill for like a bit while I hope I had a 2 hour long conversation with Amon where he ran me through. Hopefully, he set me up with his blueprint for like a his version of copy me, like in terms of you
Copy and
can
paste for the high
paste,
level
which
accounts.
is huge. Holy shit.
Copy and
God.
paste.
Oh,
What?
sorry.
You guys broke up. I didn't hear what you said. I heard you had a conversation with Aman. It was 2 hours long, and then I didn't really hear what was after that.
Yeah, me and Amin had a 2 hour conversation where he just kind of ran me through where I would like to be and how I can hopefully set up something where when I get a new customer, I just make a different copy of a funnel that's already built out. So kind of like I think it was the Loom video that kind of got me into this whole thing, Koshik, where it was all you got to do is at this point, it's a lot of hard work, but when you're at this point, you just got to change the profile picture, the name. You've built out a system, you can just create a copy of, make a new one for a client and run with that. So that's what he helped me kind of run through. Obviously, his is med spas and mine is duct cleaning, but he set me up like I felt like I had a million things to do and I just couldn't figure out which direction to pick. And I had the whole weekend to do work and I got nowhere. And in 2 hours, he just kind of calmed me down and was like, here's where you got to go. And I was like, holy God, I was like, I just started to melt. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. Why didn't I just hit you up like, I don't know, a long time ago? But yeah, so that's all good. I mean, I still got a lot of work, and it's probably I think what we did on that 2 hour call probably took care of 90% of what I need to do in between the onboardings of a new client and the launch call. He said he's open for questions. Someone's like, God, he's a nice guy. But yeah, so that was huge. He probably saved me like 6 months of just trial and error and a couple tears. But yeah, that was massive. I don't even know how I got there, but yeah, that's one I think you answered, Koshik. You kind of just you just make a new copy of the step and then just change out the name. And then okay, yeah, that's what I was doing anyways. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so I had my two first onboardings today, so those two went really well. And I'll kind of dive into what happened there after we kind of got down this list, but how to get access to clients' ad account to run ads for them, which is Mike and Trisha. I'll do that after we finish the list. But is it
Do
really
you have to run the ads out of their ad account?
Yeah. So is there any other way? Because the way that I think I set up the kickoff form, I literally did like print for print.
Let me ask you this. Did you collect all of the money, like the ad spend and the marketing fee?
Nope.
Okay. So if you were to do that, then my recommendation to you would be just to run the ads yourself in your ad account because you're not going to have to go through the painful process of them not knowing what the fuck they're doing
Right.
and going back and forth with them in terms of actually getting access to their ad account. And even if there's card fees or not, excuse me, not card fees, but any card issues that are happening, they have to deal with that and you can't. So that's the pros and the cons. In terms of getting access to the ad account, do you know how to do that or no?
Access to their ad account?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I can run this through like very quickly. And if you need to send me, if you want me to send you a Loom video of this, like I can do that too, but it's going to take me like 10 seconds to run through.
That'd be huge. Yeah.
Okay. So let me pull up. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen here?
Yep.
All right, cool. So all you have to do is just go to your, I don't know why it's not giving me anything here, but it's just a Facebook business profile, right? So I'm going to business.facebook.com. Okay, you can see my users, you can see accounts, you can see all this type of different stuff, requests, all that type of stuff. So if you go underneath accounts, right? So you can send them a video of you doing this, but basically you just go to ad accounts. And then you can request to share an ad account. Best for agencies who need access to clients' ad accounts. Which account do you want or need requests for? Okay, they're probably not going to have their account ID, right?
So I did this today and I got to that point where I said, can you send me your ID? He did. I put it in. And for me, what popped up was, oh man, I'm gonna have to do it again. But basically it said, You cannot request access to somebody's assets unless your primary Facebook page is your primary Facebook page. I don't know. Let me see if I can just.
So that was probably on his end, not yours. It sounded like. So if you're running Facebook ads, you probably need access to his page as well. So it's not just his ad account.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
No, I'll stop sharing mine. Okay, go ahead.
This is as far as we've gotten. So, assets shared with me, full control, everything except sensitive. This is a franchise, duck cleaning company. Didn't know they existed, but they kind of have to jump through a couple of hoops to let them work with us in terms of running it by the higher ups.
So
in
go
term-
to pages.
pages.
Click on that page. Go to assign people. Click on your name. Scroll all the way down to the bottom.
This is the email that I use. Should I use that or?
Sure. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Everything. Assign.
What?
Cool. Hit done.
All right.
And then you should have access to that.
Okay. Is there
In
anything else?
terms of connected assets. Okay. You're not going to have anything in there. But for ad accounts, here, just refresh the page really quick just to make sure to see if anything updates. Go to assign people just really quick. I just want to make sure. Already assigned. Okay. So you have that. Go to ad accounts. And request a share ad account, claim an existing ad account. Yeah, so I'd click that. And then he gave you,
Yeah. So when I put it in, I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't pop up again, but I'm kind of hoping it does. So you can kind of see. 3-7. So when I hit next, manage ad accounts, agencies with no primary page cannot request access to an asset. Please go to info page
Okay.
to add.
so all you have to do is create a page.
All right, how do I do that?
So go to your Facebook page. Yep, pages. No. Yep, go to pages. Go to, let's see. Go to assign people and make sure you have, oh, that says you have full control right there. Add yourself as well. So go to assign people. Nope. Assign people. Assign people. Yes. Do your email and then make sure that that one's already selected. Chuck Cameron will at the top too. Yep. Okay. Now then it should work.
Okay.
Try to give it a shot. Let's see. Or just Facebook. Let's see. That ad account ID seems very short too.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I don't think they gave you the right number, to be honest with you.
Yeah, should I just rep it and see what
But
happens?
yeah, just give it a shot.
Ooh. Same response, but
Agency here. Let me write down what it says so I can look into it. Agencies with no primary page. Request access to an asset. Okay.
is this not their ad account ID, like in terms of
No,
pages?
the ad account ID is usually way longer.
Okay, that's not it.
Well, that's their page. So each asset on Facebook has a different ID.
Okay.
So that's just their Facebook page ID.
Yeah. Yeah, the communication that I've had with him since trying to do this, he said, "Can you send us a business manager invite so we can get the Voda marketing to approve it?" I said, "Which email would you like me to?" And I didn't even know if this was the right move, but I was just like, "All right." So he sent me his email, sent it to him. yeah, then we got to the point that we're at right now where I was like, I need your ID, put it in, got the page isn't primary or whatever.
Yeah, the ad account, so they gave you the wrong number. So the ad account number should be like 15, like I don't know, a decent amount of digits.
Okay, I'll say, hey Mike, you gave us the incorrect incorrect ad account number.
Yeah. Settings. Do you know if they like what number did they give you? Did they give you a business portfolio ID maybe?
I don't know. They didn't put anything behind it.
So go to here, go to part. Let's just see really quick. Go to partners underneath users on the left-hand side. Yeah. Go to assets shared with you. Okay. Go back to hit add on the top right. I just want to see the blue button. Ask a partner to share their assets. Get started. Just put whatever they gave you.
uh, okay.
Yeah, because that number they gave you just does not seem to be right at all.
And then put that they gave me in there.
Yeah, put their portfolio ID in there. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
How many numbers was it?
8.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all. You can give it a shot. Just put for the partnership info, just put whatever. But yeah, they definitely gave you the wrong number. That's your problem.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So what I would do is I would send them a Loom video. You could do this like right now. Just send them a Loom video and say, hey, just want to let you know that you guys gave me the wrong number for the ad account ID. So if you want, what we can do is I can request it on my side. But what I'm going to need from you is one, you need to approve it once I request access to it. And in order to request access to it, I need your see on the top left where it says business portfolio info. If you go ahead and click on that, Cam, there'll be a number that's generated. See where it says business portfolio ID and it's that number. If they copy that number and give it to you, you can request access to the ad account.
Okay. And then from there
Or if they go into the ad accounts, underneath accounts, you'll see here, there is the ad account number for you.
right.
They can give you access to that.
Okay. Yeah, I just texted that I'll go in and look for it. She said she added you and sent me a screenshot, as in like their media people sent him a screenshot that he did it. So I doubt that they did it, but
I mean, yeah, that should do it though, because there's no such thing as an ad account or something that only has 8 digits. There's no, that's not possible.
right. All right. Yeah, I'll send them a Loom video. I'll look back at this and send them that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that I'll figure it out. Now that we're on the subject though, I onboarded 2 people today. My second one, this guy is a dinosaur. He's not even a dinosaur. He's like maybe 40, but his methods are like he only keeps things on a piece of paper. He doesn't he has a computer, but he's been locked out from it. It's just a nightmare. Like we've already done the deposit for $1,000. Everything's on the phone. So I was kind of running them through the onboarding as the solutions for that. I was like, we have the onboarding, or we have the Go High Level app. Well, I'll teach you how to do that. But I was like, we're gonna have to figure it out because I think you can call somebody, and in terms of getting lead notifications, that you will be getting it sent to your phone anyways. But that might be all we do for you because you said you don't even have a computer, and he seems very anti. I was like, well, do you think you'd be open to maybe learning about the desktop software? I'd be happy to like spend as long as you need to run through and get you on the same page as to what we're gonna be doing, so you can nurture all the leads that we get you and kind of figure out the different tools. There's a lot of different opportunities to maximize what we send you through the desktop version and other stuff like that. But he was just like, no, I do all my calendar through my pages. Like, I don't like anything. I only do stuff on my phone, all my LLCs, like everything's on his phone. So I was like, all right, this is gonna suck. So tomorrow I'm having another call with him. I was like, I don't know what to do, dude. So tomorrow I think we're just gonna spend 2 hours while he gives me permission to literally log into his Facebook account. Seems like he's kind of on board with that because I don't know what else to do. And I would have to kind of have two tabs open with my Facebook account and his account so they can talk to each other, I'm guessing. So I can just do it right there and then. But I'll probably just follow what we just did and just do that for him. As long as he's cool with giving me his account info, I think it should be no problem. But can you guys think of anything that would come up that you kind of need the desktop version for? This guy's a one truck band, so he's just on a truck. He doesn't have anybody in the office. It's just him and his booklet, booking calls. When he gets a call, he puts it in his book. Makes sure he doesn't miss it. What's up, Ryan?
Rather than him giving you his account details, you can control his computer remotely. So if you're on Zoom with him and he's logged in, you can do it remotely. So he doesn't have to give you his personal information, but once he's logged in, you can control, and he can see what you're doing. But you can control it.
How do you do that?
I haven't done it. Google.
You can just, well, I mean, just through Zoom, dude, all you have to do is just have them share their screen, then just you can request access to their screen.
Okay. Yeah, I'll figure that tomorrow. All right, cool. And then just do what we just did right now, right? And it should be fine.
Yeah. Yes.
As long as it's all
So you
correct.
want to make sure. The only thing is a lot of people fuck up is this. Once you give yourself access to the assets that you need, you have to make sure that on your end, you give yourself access to his assets. I know it kind of sounds stupid, okay, but it's a step that everyone fucking misses. So it's you share what you need from his account to yours, then you have to go back on your account, and then you have to add yourself as a person to have access to it. Does that make sense? Okay. So you know how earlier where I was like, yo, you got to add yourself as a user?
Yeah.
Okay. You basically have to do that with every single asset, whether that be a pixel, whether it be a Facebook page, whether that be an Instagram page, whatever, whether it be an ad account, whatever it is.
All right.
So you get access to it. And then your Facebook account is like, well, who should I give this access to?
Yeah.
Then you have to pick yourself. So for example, if you go,
As long as you do the first stuff that Mason talked about, this other stuff is easy. Like
yeah. So if you go to your Instagram page, go to your Instagram account. Zero people are assigned to this Instagram account. Go to your Facebook page instead. This will be a better example. Okay. See how it says here are the people with full control? Once you get access to his stuff, you wouldn't have had access to this unless you would have added yourself as a person to this.
Okay.
So this is going to be the same when he gives you the ad account, when he gives you the page, if he gives you an Instagram account, if he gives you a pixel.
Gotcha. Okay. All
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, sweetie. I think that handles that. Quick link appointment. Yeah, but for this guy that's just running things off his phone, is that gonna be a problem in terms of, let's say he calls and they don't pick up? I guess I'll teach him everything on mobile. Like you can see the pipeline on your phone. Like you can do almost everything on here. There's a lot of important things that you can't do, but I think he can get by, and I think I'll still give him enough value if he still wants to only use his phone through what we do.
Yeah,
for it to make sense for him, like,
yeah, I think just keep a close eye on him. You know, it might be a little bit like pulling your hair out, but it's kind of like what Rodarte and I spoke about, which is like, hey, understand this industry, right? maybe the people in this industry are like that. I remember Aaron for a while was doing like construction, and all of his sales call were like on the phone while they're out in the field, and that's just part of that industry. It's just culturally, that's normal. So just keep a close eye, do your best, and after a few clients, we'll see if there's like a pattern, and like that's how we just have to help them out.
Yeah.
I do think like with Amon, like a lot of his clients do use the mobile version. They're not really using the desktop version. So
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's good to know. So we can update. Yeah, and the other thing is KPIs suck right now. Is there a way? I'm getting better, but like I said, I stopped my ads, so there hasn't really been too much updating other than like discovery calls that I booked before I turned the ads off. Is there a way, do you guys know, where I could just, because I have an alarm set on my phone when I want to do my KPIs, so I do it daily. Is there a way where if I'm in bed in the fetal position or whatever, I can still fill out my KPIs just by on my phone? I tried it and I don't remember getting the stats that I needed in order to do so. I was just wondering if you guys have ever tried that or
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, as long as you have access to your Google Doc with you in your phone, you have access to your Facebook ads account, you have access to your Go High Level funnel. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do all of those.
It just seems like it would take forever, bro. Like if there's any dude, like I care about my numbers so much, it's like ingrained in everything I do. It's like I always said it, dude, like I'm not even kidding. I have a time that I set aside to make sure that I do my numbers every day.
right.
Like, dude,
Okay.
they're so important, bro. Like, dude, like me and Kaushik like are having a side conversation right now, and he's like, "Well, you need this number and this number and this number." I'm like, bro, I got it all.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't on that, then he wouldn't be able to make the best logical decision in terms of what I should be doing and where the bottleneck is,
Right.
and what to move and pivot first. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, you can do it on your phone, but like, it's just gonna take you longer anyway. So,
Right.
if you have chances to get on a laptop, like, definitely do it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. I don't think that's, I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I got a lot of work to do to like implement what me and Aman went over. It's probably gonna take me a long time, but I know what to do, which is the most important thing for me. So,
Good.
oh yeah, I don't know what Rodarte was excited for, but that's kind of it for me.
Arte, did you jizz your pants yet? I don't know what he's excited about either, but whatever.
Yeah, there's that for a reason.
Do you have anything else, Cam?
No, that's it. Yeah, I got one more demo call somehow that slipped in for tomorrow, but other than that, I'm gonna be gone for 5 days and I gotta do a demo call while I'm gone, so or an onboarding while I'm gone, so yeah.
Keep on. Everything sounds pretty smooth. Just keep on keeping on. Keep me posted as you progress with service delivery and what you decide to do. Make sure you please keep stay in touch with us. Show us like, daily, like, hey man, I launched this. Here's what's happening. Here's what's happening with our clients. Like this is the part where you want to play it really close to the chest in terms of what's going on with your clients. Yeah.
It feels good, man, like getting your script down for demos and stuff. Because before, like my girlfriend is like, I have to spend an hour before a demo call and I do shitty on the demo call after the prep. And now it's like I get up to my room at the time of the demo call, throw a couple tabs up there that I'm organized for. It's like then I can just rip it. Obviously there's always room for improvement, but it's so nice to be able to take my time away from the levels that I already unlocked and put it to the next stuff. Yeah, it's just cool. I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, it's cool.
Do you mean like you're in a place where it's like it seems pretty copy and paste and all these calls are pretty smooth? Is that kind of what you're trying to get at when you just said that, or when you said
Yeah.
what you mean by that?
Like before I would worry like my whole week would be consumed with trying to close somebody and then I close somebody and then I'm like I need to get the second call and then it happens right after as long as I like keep on trying to improve. Like before it's like I didn't know what tabs to have up. Like before I was literally reading word for word the ums and the ahs of somebody else. Like that was my script was I hit space bar to go to the next slide when I saw a tally. Now it's like I just have bullet points and I have it like I have it like I just call it like my demo call Bible where I just kind of throw up my all I make sure to open up all these links and they go in order so it's like chronological where I click on them. And one of them is just like this one for example, I kind of line all these ones up and I just make sure this is open so I can tell them instead of telling them what's gonna happen because I don't have a sales page like you yet. I just say, all right, perfect. Yeah. So the transaction, I kind of go over what to expect next. We're going to be sending literally this email. This is an identical screenshot of what you're going to be sent after we transact. Give me a hell yeah, awesome. This is what you're going to get. You're going to click on this where you're going to put your information. I can't see it, but after you're done that, you're going to let me know. But more importantly, we have the kickoff form. Have you ever seen a kickoff form? And then at that point, I would have already had like all these open, which is my kickoff form and stuff. So yeah, I get up to my office and I just kind of click on all these really quick, read over the notes that I made previously from the discovery call. So I have things to hit him with and top points of the discovery call to get him emotional, all the stuff that actually matters in terms of like being customized that isn't copy and pasted to every call. And then yeah, just kind of run through it. But yeah, it's super nice to have this. It's just gonna get fun, but I haven't had too much time to close calls because like I said, my ads have dried up, but I'll do the stuff that you did once I get back. It's kind of good timing that my ads kind of dried out anyways though, so I can kind of just chill with Almond's stuff and try to implement that the best I can to try to get a version of his copy me so I know what to do. And now it's just I just keep on selling because I know what to do for the onboarding and getting them going.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take what you have, and like I said, I'm working on this with Aman tomorrow. So like by Wednesday, Thursday, I'll probably share what me and Aman work on, and probably make some slight tweaks to what you got going on. Nothing crazy. I think I'm gonna do what I'm doing with him. Like it's gonna be very similar to you. The thing that I'm doing with Aman, the reason I'm doing this is like his calendar is getting super packed. So we're trying to figure out how to do one call close instead of two call closes. So we're gonna do the discovery call, and then he's, hey man, are you free now? Actually, for some time. He says, yeah, and then boom, do the sales call. So I think that would be valuable to you, so you can take more volume, close more deals, as opposed to like booking out because your calendar was crazy. We're trying to consolidate, and you'll run into that same issue as I'm on as well. So
Yeah.
close more deals and all that stuff. So
Yeah, sounds good. I also gotta implement Drew's ROI calculator into my thing. I haven't done that yet just because I haven't really been doing too many demo calls. But that's one of the things I'm gonna work on when I'm away if I can. Yeah, and you sent me where to put it and how to do it, so I'll just do that and let you know how that goes.
all right, man. Can I get the screen?
Yeah.
Who do we have next? Riviera, Ryan. Riviera, is it cool if Ryan hops in? Ryan's just really quick and he's just kind of wondering about like what niche he should delve into. And I think if he hops in, he can kind of give your take, Cam's take, Rodarte's take, Mason's take. I think that might be good for him. Just
Yeah,
kind of
that works.
so yeah, Ryan, I mean, take the stage, dude. I mean, however you want to phrase your question or whatever's brewing through your head, and then some of these other guys can chime in. I think the reason I think this is great is because Ryan Riviera is considering changing niches right now. So very timely for you. So anyways, go ahead, Ryan.
Sweet. First off, look, man, I just wanted to put this out there. I was just thinking about this. I love this. I love having this open discussion with everyone. It's fucking so epic. But that's that. That's aside. Cool. And I've actually like, during this process, I got one more question too. Thanks to Cam, he kind of made me realize it through this. So I'll jump to that. And it's just data set question when we onboard people because I made a video the other night to onboard someone, and as I was doing the video and the screen recording of it. Fuck it, I'll start with this question. When you go to data sets, how do I explain this? When you're giving someone instructions so that you can take, if they have data sets already installed, and so you want to be able to control those data sets. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Should be right. There's two options. One is assign people and one is assign partners. And when you go assign partners, they need to install your business code. And now that's what I did for my onboarding video. I said, as I was going through it all real quick, say, click this, do this. Here's my email at the top above this video. Go down to data sets, click assign partners. It will ask for my business ID just above this video is my business ID, copy and paste or type that in and then go okay. Was that right? Or should I be telling them to go assign people? I would have thought it was assign partners. That's question number one.
So you're kind of wondering, I just want to make sure I have your question right. So you're kind of wondering what happens if they don't have access to their own assets, or are you just kind of thinking like, what is the easiest method to get access to their assets?
No, here, let me just share this.
Let's see.
Have you guys got my screen here?
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so on my onboarding video where I basically where I send them the link and it's got all the videos to say, hey, do this. This is how we connect up our Meta accounts and stuff. I run through the pages, I run through the ad accounts.
Yep.
And then I come down and so I've done all that side of it. Then I go and then finally, if you've run ads before, come down to the left-hand column, click on data sets, and you should have one or a couple of data sets here.
Okay, so I'll cut you off
I'm
right
not-
there.
Yep.
You never want to use their data sets.
Okay.
You're always going to want to use yours, so your question is completely scratched. And the reason I'm saying that is because eventually you're going to be using the same pixel for all of your clients' ad accounts.
Okay.
Therefore, your pixel or your data set is going to be the smartest one available.
Is there a way to connect up? Like
If
is
you
there
have
any-
access, so if you have access to their ad account, you can use your pixel.
Oh, perfect. Cool. That I can eliminate the video and redo that video. That's absolutely fine. So that was question one regarding what I thought of when Cam was talking. Back to my initial ones. Yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen now. Niching down. Okay, so in the process of niching down, talking to Kashik back and forth the last couple of days, I feel like I keep asking him the exact same questions and he has to keep reiterating himself. Sorry, dude. Basically, you're hitting PTs, and that's one of my potential niches because I know the industry and I know PTs. I know body physiology. Like I'm right into that aspect of stuff mentally. Armful of tattoos if I wanted to go down the tattoo route, and then I've got a gym owner, a boxing gym owner who's actually following up with me at the moment about hitting me up. So again, PTs, gyms, I feel like somewhat of a similar aspect as far as fitness, health.
Mhm.
They hit all the boxes there. But regarding PT, because it's what you're hitting, what would you say is the biggest challenges you're facing right now, if you're just to be completely open with us?
Yeah, so I would say that the hardest thing within the PT niche is client acquisition because of buyer sophistication. So there's a decent amount of business coaches for fitness coaches on the market right now, and they're spending a lot of money kind of running the same ads, the same offer, same everything. So there's a pro and there's a con. The pro is in terms of service delivery, it's actually not as hard as you think it is. It's actually pretty simple. That's the pro. The con is trying to figure out a way to stand out within the marketplace and offer something different that's going to net the most fish, right? So generally speaking, I would still do this, to be honest, because I never really did run like an agency in a way. I went straight to like a coaching program in a way. I went straight to high ticket and I wasn't selling like $1,000 a month things. I went straight to high ticket. And the reason I had to go straight to high ticket was because if I was going to compete with the guys that were spending that amount of money on ads, like I needed to make sure that my profit margins were high and my cost per acquisition was higher because everyone was spending so much money. Plus, I was kind of fighting tooth and nail with everyone because they've already been in like 17 other people's programs, right?
Yep.
So I would say the hardest thing in terms of the PT niche is figuring out a client acquisition system.
So are you saying that your current model at the moment, rather than finding them clients, you're essentially training what this is here, this trainer HQ, where you're kind of teaching them to you're basically selling them, you're going right to the end where you're selling them the product that gets them the results for themselves, correct?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So I'm not really necessarily running their ads or anything along the lines of that, like myself. I'm
Okay.
just teaching them how to do it. What ads work, why they work, what strategies they need to follow, how to set up their Instagram accounts, how to conduct the sales calls, give them sales call scripts, how to hire appointment setters, the exact appointment setting script, KPIs, doing basically giving them the entire system.
Okay. So this is kind of good that you're in this position because they might actually be a little bit more open. And this is regarding my next set of questions is you're selling them something for them to do themselves. Now, from your point of view, Do you feel like there's a lot of clients out there, a lot of PTs out there, which would actually benefit from not having to touch it because if it feels like it's extra work for them? So they're looking for someone to do that side of it for them.
Yes, I think so. But the problem is like if they don't find success in the short term, then they're not going to stick with you. Right? So like the reason I sell high ticket and the reason I sell my coaching program, which isn't necessarily like a course and then good luck, have a nice day, is to pretty much say, okay, I have 3-4 months to get this person results. And it's, I know if they follow the strategy, I know if they follow this thing, like if someone booked like, so I originally was running this trial funnel and the way that it worked, I'm not going to get into it because it was a little bit complex, but essentially it was like, I thought in my head that if I was able to book people sales calls, they would get excited and they would be like, oh shit, it would be really stupid not to work with this Mason guy because I was never booking calls before and now I'm booking calls. Right. But the problem was I was booking the calls and they couldn't close them. And they were like, oh, well, the leads suck and that's the problem. It's like, no, jackass, because you suck balls at sales. Right. And then there goes the $5,000 I could have taken. Right. And then I have $500 from a trial. So really, like the ascension through that process is a little bit harder, and that's why I would sell high ticket first. I would just figure out a different way to do it.
This is what me and Mason did during that phase is, like I said, Ryan, we were running a trial. So people, his ad again, Mason, not gonna get too much into it because there's so many details, but high level, it's, hey, if you're a personal trainer, we'll get you results. It's a trial, 100% free, unlike all these other gurus. Click below. They DM him. From there, he hops on a discovery call. Hey, man, so tell me about your business. What's going on? Da, da, da. Cool, man. Well, I think I can help you. Let's hop on another call. Basically, I'm going to run ads for you. Hops on another call. On that call, I think Mason would collect like $500. And then he would explain, here's what we're going to do for you. Da, 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 da. Sets everything up. Next thing you know, they're getting booked calls. But then it's very challenging to get them to believe like, okay, I'm getting you booked calls. Now pay me $5,000. And there's so much, like, again, that's what I used to do. That's where me and Mason modeled something I built out in 2022. It's so hard because now you have to convince them, like, hey, of course it's going to work. They have to feel FOMO. They have to feel like, if I don't hire Mason, I'm going to lose this money that's like sitting there for the taking.
Exactly.
That's how you position it. They have to think there are 3 sales calls. Mason just gave them to me. If I don't sign up with Mason, this falls through the crack. Versus what they were thinking is, I have 3 sales calls. This Mason guy wants me to pay him. I'm not even closing these deals. Why the fuck would I pay him? Very different mentality. And so then you get them. So again, you got to get them to think that, get them to pay $5,000, and then they're a client. And so it's like that works. The funnel works. The system works. But Mason proved it. He closed people from it. It's just hard as fuck to do that versus what you're used to, most likely, which is an ad. Hey, if you're a personal trainer, book a call with me. I'll help you get results. They go in, they book a call. You do a discovery call. Hey, man, so I think I can help you. Let's move it to a sales call, close the deal. That funnel, everybody's running that funnel in the personal trainer niche, and it can cost $5,000 to close a deal. It can cost $3,000 to close a deal.
Yeah.
Because so many people are competing for personal trainers. So that's what Mason's getting at. So instead of doing that funnel that everybody else is doing, his angle is, hey, let me offer a free trial. But it's so hard to execute that sales process. So that's what he means by client acquisition is difficult.
Yeah.
And
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It worked. It's just like, it's not going to be scalable long term unless there's like enough people in place to make that work. And even then the funnel will die out in like a year or 2 after I saturate it. So it's like eventually I'm going to have to go toward probably the same thing that everyone else is doing.
I think you could do what Mason was doing. I think you could do it. It's just not easy.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think you could do it too. And I would teach you everything. But it's kind of up to
So
you.
the biggest gap right there is them closing the sale and the acquisition. So the funnel works up to this point, closing the sale, acquisitions, and then the funnels and the ads carry on working from there. So you've got this.
What you got to do, you got to get people to believe, you get people the leads, right? Imagine I got you the leads from the 6 week sales funnel. I gave you the train, I gave you everything, but you hadn't actually closed a deal yet. But I said to you, hey man, before you close the deal, I need you to pay me first. Think about what I would have to do to get you to pay me before you even close a deal. That's what you're going to be faced with. So that's what Mason had to deal with.
Because here's the thing, if you rely off them closing a deal, dude, like it's not gonna work.
Don't rely on them.
You can't rely on that, dude. Like here's the thing, dude. Like I would almost say it's pretty much certain to say if they do close a deal, it's gonna be like a sale for you. but like the chances of that happening are extremely fucking low, and you can't bank off that. You have to ninja level a system in place where when you book the calls for them, it's like, well, like you'd have to do something to be like, okay, well, do you want our sales script? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to have a system in place where it's like, dude, we could do this month after month after month for you, but it's going to take me a while to teach you how to do it instead of doing it for you, because I've been doing it all for you up to this point.
Okay, so I kind of got two things here going in my head. One is Rich with the tattoos, where he essentially sells before and he's pretty much got them sold and got them all set up before he actually puts them in front of them for the tattoo artist to start designing, right? So there's that aspect, but I know that that's very time consuming, and it can also pose a potential risk of some clients. They'll see me, they'll talk to me, and they'll start to trust me and what I say. But then I'm like, but I'm going to hand you over to this guy he's going to be the one coaching you. And they're going to be like, well, I don't know that person. I don't necessarily trust them. I haven't seen them. So I'm not sure I want to go ahead with it. So that's issue number one, or situation one, which I could see the potential problems there. Situation number two is what you're saying is have a you almost like kind of what you've done, not quite as far as what you've done, but almost jump ahead, like this is what's supposed to build up to is when we create the licensing and sell them the licensing, right? Is actually when they sign up, I have to have a script a script already made for them to use, but actually let them use it. Actually just let them use it in that trial, and they can say, okay, this script works because I've now closed this deal. Do you think that would be that kind of that determining or that deciding factor where they're like, yes, I need to pay you, or is it more like, oh well, I've got the script now, so I don't need you anymore because you've just given this to me for free?
So what I would do, when I did the trial, is I would give people the discovery call script, but I would not give people the sales script. So imagine your 6-figure and 6-week sales funnel, what you went through, you need the sales script. So I would do is I would give people the trial, I would get them discovery calls booked, I would get them sales calls booked, but I would not give them the sales call script. Actually, what I would do, I wouldn't even give the discovery call script. What I would do is I would give people the script, the DM script, the Instagram DM script. So you know how you have the Instagram DM script to get on the discovery call? That's what I gave. I didn't even give people the discovery call script. What I would do on my sales call is I would show them, here's the discovery call script. Here are the 4 kinds of archetypes. Here's how you speak to them. Also, by the way, here's a sales call script. And on top of that, here's all the training on once you close them. Here's how you actually get the results. So now what happens in their mind, like, holy fuck, I need all that. So let me go and pay Kaushik $5,000 to get all this stuff.
Would it be too out the gate if we were to give them,
here's the
let's
thing,
say, if we were to give them a discovery call script, which kind of led to a trial, but like an actual like a 30-minute in-gym trial session. So they get a one-on-one, so the customer actually physically, you know how you tend to, when you go into, a lot of PTs have done it here in New Zealand where the initial day you come in, they don't charge you, but what they do is they kind of show you how to execute all the exercises that you could potentially be doing. And the PT will run with that through you. And that exercise system essentially is their sales script, that 30 minutes that they have with that client and running through physically, because it is a physical situation, a physical sale that they're doing. I feel like sorry, let's get my words straight.
So I know where you're getting at. I'll cut you off because you're thinking in-person personal trainer. We're talking about online personal training, 2 different niches.
Okay.
So in-person personal training, you don't want to do that. You want to do online personal trainers.
Yeah. I have stuff for in-person as well, but
You're not talking about apps though, are you? You're talking about people who like do Zoom calls with those clients and create programs and basically do everything remotely.
Because that's what's scalable. Working with in-person personal trainers, although it's possible, you don't want to do that. You want to go after online personal trainers.
Fuck, that changed my mindset again.
Though, Ryan, here's the thing. You're thinking about service delivery. What me and Mason are telling you is we've already figured it out. Don't worry about that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not thinking about service delivery. I'm just the gap that you said is the issue. I'm trying to think about how to.
Don't think about it so deep, and I'm gonna tell you why, dude. It doesn't matter which niche you pick, there's always a fucking problem.
So
So if
Understand.
you're like, oh, I think I could acquire this client a lot easier, chances are service delivery is harder, or
What-
the purchasing power is less, or something.
what I would do with you, Ryan, is this, by the way. So I know what you're thinking about. So yes, what Mason's saying is true. Mason's giving you like high level freaking sensei advice, which is everything sucks balls, which is true. But I know that what you're really asking for, what you're really looking for is like tactical like stuff here. So here's what I would do with you. If you decide to do personal trainers, what I would do with you is I would try to build out the exact same funnel I did with Cam, with Rodarte and everything, which is it's a traditional ad to calendar page to discovery to sales call. I would see if I can make that work for you. And if we can make that work, then all the shit that me and Mason have to deal with, you're not going to have to deal with because we're not going to do a trial funnel. So I'm going to try to do a regular funnel with you and see if I can get that working. If for some reason that doesn't work, if we run into issues where people are not booking calls with you for $30, then I'm going to do a trial funnel with you. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do the traditional route with you first, see if we make that work. If not, then we'll do Mason's thing. And Mason's thing, it already works. It's proven to work. It's just hard as fuck, but it's already going to work. So you can't really lose with online personal trainers, is what we're getting at. This is just going to be hard. You're going to have to stay at it and you're going to refine it. Me, for example, I stayed at it. Here's the thing. It took me 30 sales calls, 30 reps before I figured it out. And so I already figured it out. And then I gave it to Mason. Mason did it for a little bit. He didn't do 30 reps. He just did enough. He was like, fuck it. I'm tired of this. And he already got a few clients anyways. So you can just keep going. What Mason did is he basically found a few clients and just did profit share with them. Versus you can do a different route. You can just keep close people for like 5K deals.
Right.
So,
But our end goal is to offer them that licensing training package, right? Beyond everything. That's what we're heading towards, right? So where Mason is currently with PTs is what my potential plan would be to push forward.
with
So
personal trainers, there's ways to do the whole video licensing thing, but like really it's simple. Like, so the service delivery for personal trainers
Yeah,
is
dude, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so easy.
in terms of service delivery, bro, like I'm telling you, don't even think about it because I got you. But like, it's not necessarily like each niche is different. But not only that, the ways of servicing them and getting client results are a lot different. So you don't even need to go out and create some crazy fucking video for PTs.
Yeah.
They just
So
need to have a phone and you need to be able to tell them how to create a script that follows a certain formula. And as long as they can do that, dude, which all of them know how to do because they're personal trainers and they're online, so they have social media presence or they know how to use their iPhone, it's fucking easy.
like if you consider you guys, I had to give you a funnel. I had to give you an opt-in page video, an application page video, a thank you page video, a discovery call script, all this shit to give you guys. Mason doesn't do that. Mason just says, here's a script. Go use your phone, record it, send me the video, we're done. That's it. That's literally it. He gets everything set up in like 10 minutes, they're done. That's it. That's how simple it is. It's literally, and then he gives them a script to use for the discovery, for the sales call. That's it. He gives them a script for the DMs, he gives a script for the sales call. That's it. It's literally that easy to help a personal trainer.
What's stopping? This is more, I don't know what I don't know. So what's stopping me from jumping right to where Mason is and hitting that?
Nothing.
That I might not tell you that info. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, theoretically you could, dude. If you really wanted to, you could. But the only thing that would stop you is like client testimonials and just knowing what to say on sales calls and stuff like that. But other than that, like if you signed a client tomorrow and you're like, yo, fuck Mason, like I need to get this guy results, like I got you.
Right. So the reason why or what I'm picturing here in my head is the reason why we don't jump to where you're at right now is because we just do need some of those results that we can portray across to sell this package with. because you're in direct competition with, you know, a lot of these other guys who fucking are spinning out stupid numbers supposedly.
Yeah. So like my goal, so like here, I'll literally tell you right now, like what I'm doing. So, I went the route of like becoming a coach for fitness coaches.
Yeah.
And then I stopped doing that and I was like, okay, like what should I do and why should I do it? So what I did was I basically branded myself as a fitness coach. And then with one of the clients that I signed through that trial funnel that you kind of just learned about, I did a profit share with her. Right. So my main goal is to get her to like 100K a month. And then when I'm there, I'm basically going to do the thing that you're trying to do right now. Yeah. So selling shit for 5K, 10K up front, because that's going to be a lot easier for me. I'm not going to have to do any service delivery whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just a lot easier for me. And the thing is, like, if I can grow it to 100K, I'm going to know the ins and outs of the business, and I'll be able to help anybody. Which means not only am I going to be a better coach, I'm going to be better coaches than everyone else in the market because no one else brought their company from 0 to 100K. So not only do I have the results, I have the conviction, I have the scripts, I have every single asset that I need, quote unquote, licensing to make sure that I get anyone results, the best on the market. And I have enough money where if it's going 100K per month, I can spend 30K a month on ads and not give a shit.
Ryan, here's what I would do if I were you. Again, you make the decision you want to make. If I were in your shoes, I would say, hey, a month, I'm going to commit to client acquisition for personal trainers. If you can figure out how to get these personal trainers to fork over cash, whether it's a trial, whether it's paid, I don't care. As long as you can do that, I know with your sales skills, if you can get somebody to do, like, for example, a $500 to $1,000 trial, which I feel very confident you can just with your track record so far, I feel very confident you're going to be able to convert somebody from giving you $500 to $5,000. I feel very confident you're going to figure it out. I do, just based off of just seeing you, what I know. And because I've already done a lot of it myself, I'll just share it with you. Like, here's how I did it. I think that it's going to click for you. You're going to be good to go. If I were you, I would commit a month to client acquisition. If for some reason you really struggle, then I would move on to tattoos.
Okay.
That's just what's bringing to mind. Because again, if you learn client acquisition, then getting people results is going to be a walk in the park. Again, Mason, he's not doing client acquisition. He's got a whale client, helping her get to 100K, sharing the profits. Very different than what you're trying to do right now.
So are you only working with one client right now, Mason?
So I'm working with multiple, but only one is a 50-50 profit share. So I take half of everything.
Right.
So very different than, like, in your case, like for client acquisition, just sell everybody 5,000, 5,000, 5,000 versus, again, what Mason's doing. One really big client that he does 50-50. So everything he helps her make, he pockets 50%. Eventually he's going to move over and do literally what you're talking about, you and I are talking about, like he said. But yeah, that's my advice. But again, you know, hear from Mason, hear from Riviera, hear from Cam, hear from Rodarte. That's where my mind is, just based off of like how you speak about things. You never once told me when you and I first met anything about tattoos. I didn't even know you had tattoos, which is where my question came from. What you talked to me about sports and adrenaline and this and that. That said a lot to me about you. So things
I think
like
my concern was that initially I had already ruled out this industry because I feel like, as you explained with the C's, is that it felt like a Red Sea. And in my head, I was thinking, I was like, man, this is such a saturated market already that, and you're, as you're talking about that, they have been sold to marketing and burnt a lot. So, you know, that have that higher awareness. Not saying I couldn't do it because it's hard, but I was just thinking like I was kind of, I don't know, I was trying to play or you know, just figure out to see if there was another, you know, another niche, something else that is like, hold on, here's a fucking, you know, here's something I've done in my past that I could bring back and bring forward and really tap into. So I was toying with ideas basically initially before I went to.
You said something about tattoos, and I think that maybe I explained something to you, but what did you feel like the issue was? You felt like the issue was the fact that Rich was on the phone working all these leads for the tattoo artists, and you feel like that's an issue because of the time, the energy, or because Rich is a different person than a tattoo artist? Where's the issue that you see? Because there's
Nah,
some
you've explained this before about what they're doing, because he's essentially he's figuring out the process, which is why he's on these leads. He's figuring out the nuts and bolts to create this this coaching program. So you already answered that for me. And I know if I was to go into it, whether or not I did that or not, it would be a different story. I think tattoo artists, like I've already reached out to one tattoo artist before you told me that I was supposed to reach out to people, or before I watched the video, they said, don't reach out to anyone. You'll fucking shoot yourself in the foot. I had already reached out to them. And then I just kind of have just been putting them off a little bit. But there's potential for me to reach out to tattoo artists, and I know quite a few of them. So I can reach out to them, for 15 weeks, 3 months, a month, whatever down the track. If PTs doesn't work, I can reach out to that. So as you mentioned, I don't have to stick with this. It's okay.
If you decided to do, for example, tattoos, and you already have like fucking 5-10 people, bro, like we can get those 5-10 people and just like get them the system, and they can just start getting results.
Yeah.
There's nothing here what I'm saying. There's nothing that's saying you must run ads and have a system to book discovery sales calls. That is if you want long-term growth, but there's nothing stopping you from taking these 10 tattoo artists and hitting like 10, 15K a month right now. There's nothing stopping you from that.
No, I'm aware of that. Yeah, no, I am aware of that, but I think, yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I keep cutting you off. I want to hear what's brewing your head.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why I don't just jump into it. And I think it's because like it's just this initial decision, right? I don't necessarily want to waste time just for the sake of exploring options. If there's something that we can conclude, or if we can just put our brains together and be like, this is why this is the better option because XYZ, and we can actually connect those dots initially, even if it takes a day longer, then
How about this?
I'll much rather that than go down this route, explore it for a little bit. Oh, come back. Oh, go down this route, explore this for a little bit. Oh, come back.
Idea. So you can maybe ask Cam what his experience was, and so you don't just hear it from me.
Cool.
A suggestion is this. A suggestion is that we sit down and we write out ad scripts for both tattoos and personal trainers. So we write out 5 different ads for tattoos, 5 different for personal trainers. We film all of them, and then we have one funnel for personal trainers, and we have one personal funnel for tattoo artists, and we let the fucking ads rip and see what happens. It's time for both of those simultaneously.
Right.
So this way, like you said, you're not doing personal trainers for like 30 days, 2 months, and then going and pivoting this way. We just fucking launch them both and just see what book calls for, because both of them are going to end up working out in terms of service delivery. It's just which one is going to help you for client acquisition the fastest. So if we come and we launch both of them for personal trainers and tattoos, and our theory comes to be true, which is like, man, getting these personal trainers is a fucking hassle, but tattoo artists, man, they fucking eat this shit up. All right, cool. Maybe we just go that route, and we just turn off the personal trainer ads within 7 days. That's another way. Again, maybe sleep on that. Maybe ask Cam his thoughts and see if he thinks it's possible to do. You guys
beyond that, what would you say, beyond actually getting acquisitions, what industry would you think has the longer term benefit to it?
Honestly, both of them, bro. Both of those are so sexy. Both of them. Because I look at Mason's numbers for his clients. One of my buddies, like I said, I don't know if I told you, I did tell you, Impact Training, Impact Fitness Coaching Academy, all their students are doing a 10x. They spend $1,000, they make $10,000. I see that with online personal trainers, and I also see that with tattoo artists.
Right.
The game just comes down to like, it's not necessarily like how many clients I can sign. It's just who can I make the most money?
I think if I had to guess, I would say tattoo artists, actually. And here's why I know it's with tattoo artists, because people want to get tattoos. It's not a painful thing. People love fucking getting tattoos. It's like, it's hard not to sell tattoos, right? Like if you get leads, here's the thing that I think, if you get leads For tattoo artists, you give them a really simple script, bro. They're gonna sell easy. They don't have to be good at sales.
No.
People love tattoos versus personal training. What Mason explains, like we run very simple ads. It's very simple to run the ads, but there is work that goes inside DMing. And then in terms of sales, these personal trainers actually have to be good at sales. So it's not a walk in the park versus tattoos. It's a walk in the park. And on top of that, I think tattoos, you're selling some shit for like $500. And then people get like another thing for 500. Before you know, a person spending like fucking $3,000 with a tattoo artist. The problem that I see with tattoo artists is that you make them so much money so fast that they're like, fuck, dude, we got to turn the ads off. That's where I do see a problem.
I also see a problem with tattoo artist mentality. So in the psychological sense, where a lot of tattoo artists are artists, they're not in it to make a shit ton of money. They're in it to produce art. Where the mindset of someone who does PT is they want to look good, and to look good, they got to be rich. They want to get rich. You know, that's their mentality. So as far as when you got these client acquisitions going, it'll be a lot. I feel like there's more potential in taking money from a PT and taking a lot more money from a PT than what there is from a tattoo artist. I feel like they're going to get to a point where they're like, no, I'm good, man. It's like that kind of surfer boy mentality with tattoo artists. They're artists. PT is money driven, money hungry, looks driven, looks hungry. You know, they want they want to be able to present themselves like that. So
I would say maybe, right? Because guess what? Videographers are artists too.
yeah.
So there's a subsection of videographers, I think. I would definitely tell you, like, for me, I do struggle with the videographers that are like, oh, I want to make a fucking Oscar award. I'm like, motherfucker, I can't help you. Like those people, as soon as they say that on their application, I'm like, fuck off, I can't help you. Mason and Riviera are dying, but it's true. Anybody ever tells me like, I want to make a narrative film, I'm like, okay, you're in the wrong course, buddy. Anyways, I will tell you that is something that Rich told me because Rich is friends with a lot of tattoo artists. And he says, hey, they're like strippers. They make a shit ton of money and then they go blow it, enjoy it, and then they come back and they work again. So it's a very that type of mentality. But here's the thing. I would say we don't know. We're kind of guessing, bro. We're guessing. And the question becomes, can you find 200 tattoo artists that are money hungry that are willing to pay $5,000? Because guess what? 200 artists willing to pay $5,000 is $1 million.
$5,000 for the coaching program or the licensing fees, or $5,000 for servicing them?
$5,000 LTV, whatever you want to charge and however you want to price it. The question becomes, can we find 200 people to pay you $5,000? I think the answer to that is yes. So yeah, man, it's you're asking a question of like, which is the worst good thing to happen? Right? They both work. You're both going to be fine for both of them.
Does anyone else have any opinions that spring to mind? They want to turn their mute off, the audio off, and
Riviera, what's going through your head in terms of like you picking a niche, man? Like, where are you at in terms of picking a niche? Maybe that'll help Ryan a little bit.
I mean, yeah, it's just you ultimately, yeah, it's the truth. You know, what Mason says is every niche has shit with it for sure. I think it's just making sure the niche, it doesn't have a dead stop or it doesn't get to a place where it's so pay to play that you're out of the game. For dentists, super hard. I think service deliverability is super easy on my end to get results. I think customer acquisition is a demon, right? So it's like there's always pros and cons. So that's where I'm, you know, coming from a place where service delivery is very easy, customer acquisition is very hard to get that client. I think now my mentality is like trying to find something balanced, a little more balanced, meaning they're all equally shit and they're all equally good. So I'm trying to find, because I even wrote it down here. I'm like, you know, there's you know, the cost of acquisition, there's the service deliverability, and then there's the client buying power. And just trying to you know, really run through, like, if you could put it from a 1 to 10 scale on, you know, on that niche, right? I think my yeah, Ryan, I think my first niche was actually in-person personal trainers. And yeah, couldn't even get off the ground because, you know, he actually, before I even launched, he actually had his, whatever the gym owner it's like, hey man, I'm getting bombarded with all these leads myself, like I guess his own business, right? And then he just gave them all to him, and then he told me, hey, I'm filled up, my calendar's filled up. I can't even launch ads with you, man. I got a bunch of clients. So, but I don't really know the world of the, online PTs, but no, I think everything you're saying, you're evaluating with the right sense and the right goggles. I think it's just, yeah, just shoot, man. Maybe even I know Mason's already the expert, but maybe talking to someone else in the field. I would have loved to actually talk to a dental marketer to see like where was the hangups and stuff for him, because there's some people I'm seeing struggle now, like they're the bigger dogs in the game, and I see them constantly turning off their ads, constantly turning them on, constantly turning them off. So you want to get to a place where that's not a thing, but ultimately that could happen. But I don't know. If you're asking me for a good answer, I'm still figuring things out. So, but yeah, I mean, Mason kind of mentioned it, like those three tiers of customer acquisition, service delivery, and that client buying power, and which one is worth it for you,
There's this YouTube channel for tattoo artists, and that guy sells courses. And I know that because he was on Course Creator Pro, and Course Creator Pro, I think, interviewed him. And Course Creator Pro is by Parker Walbeck, in case you didn't know. And yeah, he's got a big channel. He sells like millions of dollars worth of courses. So that means, guess what? There's a demand for tattoo artists who want to make more money. That right there is case in proof.
Cam, you itching to say something? Please. Any input? Let's get as much as possible.
Did he say me?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've just been kind of fogged out.
What would you pick between personal trainers and tattoo artists?
Sorry, what I think the biggest difference is?
I don't know. What would you pick if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick one? Which one would you pick? The tattoo
You would have
artist?
already been dead, bro. You're not even paying attention.
Um, I like tattoo artists quite a bit. I don't know, because I don't know, like I'm friends with a personal trainer, like I went with him every single day, and the business just seems kind of brutal, in terms of getting clients. But I mean, I guess that's a reason for you to have your foot in the door. That's why you could be of service. But I don't know, tattoo artists, just from watching Rich conduct his calls, it seems like if you master service delivery and you get the game, you are like a god. It seems like what he's saying is such like a rare person to have those type of values that you can offer towards a business that's hard to get into if you spend the time to figure out what other people aren't willing to put the time in to figure out. That right there will make you so fucking valuable. And just by watching Rich conduct his calls, he seems to carry that high-chested I don't know, he just seems like I would pay him like $1 million from what he's saying. It just seems like he's the guy. I know, like, even me, I say I've cracked the code in my industry, but for him, it really seems like he has. And I feel like if you crack the code in an industry that's not very popular and there's a lot of need for it, then I don't know. I'm pretty far off of those two niches, but that's kind of my input on it. I think I picked tattoo. It's also just, this is kind of an ego thing, but it's also kind of just cooler, I feel like, to kind of get into the Jim's also kind of cool as well, Mason, but I mean, they're both sweet. I mean, I'm in the duck cleaning niche, so like I'm in the bottom of the barrel. But like, in terms of ego, tattoo artists it seems kind of sick. So I don't know. Take what you will from what I said. Hopefully that helps.
No.
I do like what he's saying in terms of like it's less saturated. Like it's like these guys are not familiar with a lot of marketers reaching out to them, helping them. There's a
Very true. That is very true.
Versus personal trainers, they fucking heard from everyone, bro.
My sales calls usually start with, all right, so who fucked you over first?
Not actually, but there is a lot of people that I've talked to that have been in different programs in my experience. So
What's the biggest thing that, or is there something that's, what's the common denominator between, there must be something that's like a common denominator between all these clients that come to you that say they've been with different programs. Other than the fact, oh, it didn't work. There must be a common denominator in there somewhere.
generally, thing, and the thing is this, like a lot of the coaches out there aren't necessarily bad coaches. They're just not like the material that they're providing for the people is good, but the support that they're giving the people that join the program are just shit. And the reason I can like puff my chest out and say that is because like this is one of the first courses that I have ever bought. And I've bought countless ones after this, and I've never seen like, and I say this not to like boost our egos, like Koshik and I's, but like whenever someone needs help, bro, we're like, we are fucking on it. So in terms of like the denominator of why people I think chose me is because I wasn't the guy spending $20,000 a month on ads. It was because I was going to do everything in my power to make sure that they had success, especially with if I had to pick one like if I had to pick one thing, I would say it's like sales. A lot of people in the fitness space just suck balls at sales.
Yeah.
Like they want to help people, but they're like shooting themselves in the foot the way that they talk to the clients. They're not selling, they're just giving them advice. So really, I think that if you dial down client acquisition and you're able to teach them sales, like I would say that's
Yeah.
like the main thing, dude. It's not like all these coaches out here, dude, they're teaching the same thing. They're just teaching a different client acquisition method or the same fucking one, charging different for it. The only denominator that makes some people winners over the losers is the support that they get, obviously that the effort that they put in, right? Because that's not in your control. And three, their ability to learn sales. That's it. Straight up.
Sales. That's pretty much me. And from there, I did send you guys a message. What's the chances that I could connect with Richard? If you could just link a DM up, I'll give a chat.
Same thing, Cam. How did you link up with Aman? Like, did you DM him? What did you do to link up with Aman? We can't hear you, Ben.
Dude, this Cam guy's sleeping.
Aman was he was kind of struggling with his sales, and we've just been going back. We've just been very friendly with each other, like ever since I kind of in here. And now he's starting to struggle with his sales, so I'm kind of trying to help him with that because he's kind of hurting, and we've just kind of been helping each other out. So I had to pay him for his time, obviously, but I sent him a really nice message, kind of framing it that way. Like, I think you're the man for the job, just from what discussions we've had previously. You've given me so much value. And whatever you feel is necessary to compensate, I'd be more than happy to pay for your time if you'd give it to me. So we just had a 2-hour call where he just fed me everything I thought he could give me, and that's how I did it.
Yeah. So basically, you just reach out and just say, hey, I'd love to poke your brain regarding XYZ. And then obviously just like lead with like, hey, like, please let me know what you need from me. Right. And that's usually how everybody is within our community. Like the older guys, you just reach out to them, ask them for an hour or two of their time, ask them what they need. And most of the guys are happy to help. And by the way, Rich is that guy. Rich is super, let me fucking help you. Rich loves doing that. So if you want to reach out to Rich, I would say first shoot him a message in Slack. And then I
think that's more what I was asking, is because I haven't got his last name or like a link here to send him. So.
Yeah. So you just come into the contacts and just search up Rich, and he's the only Rich in there.
Contacts.
So you should be able to just come in and click that and then type in Rich, and then he should populate for you, Rich Shades.
Oh, man. Fuck. I killed. Learned something new.
Cool.
Cheers.
Yep. And then and then if he doesn't respond, just let me know. I'll give you his email. You could probably shoot him. I know he's active when it comes to his email. Yeah.
I think just maybe like if I could
just so you know, by the way, Rich. So your problem right? It's important that I understand. It's not it's not service delivery. It's client acquisition. And so with Rich did not figure out client acquisition. He did not figure that out.
Right.
He figured out service delivery. So when you ask that question, he's not going to be able to help you with client acquisition. He's gonna tell you a lot of the things I've already told you, which is like, hey, these tattooers like strippers. I tried Facebook groups. He's gonna tell you this stuff, but I never got to a place with him where we actually built out a funnel running ads to tattoo artists, which is what I would do with you. I didn't do that with him.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I get that, and I think I'd be all over that. To be honest, if we sat down and went down that road, but I think I just want to get an idea of like if he could just basically, I just need him to paint me a picture of what that's like working with those guys, working with that crowd, and between that and what you've said about PTs and the potential of even doing two at the same time and see what bloody flies back at us. Between any of those options, I think we could probably make a decision in the next 24, 48 hours. As long as I can just have a quick chat with Rich.
I think, yeah, dude, please have a conversation with Rich. What I'll tell you is just Rich didn't go hard. So just so you know, Rich was already doing like, I think 6 figures before he started working with me. And then when he started working with me, and that's from his 9 to 5. And so when he started working with us, I was like, dude, you're a fucking savage. We all saw it. We see a Discovery Call sale. He's probably one of the best. But then what happened is he was between a rock and a hard place because he was working so much. He's like fucking Jeremy. Like he's putting like 60, 70 hours. And he was just between a rock and a hard place. And ultimately what ended up happening is he ended up getting a raise at his company. And so he got a raise at his company. He was like, hey, I'm just gonna go on this. I'm gonna just chill. Yes, I want to do this thing, but like the money's good at my job. And so just to give you context, so me and him, he's really good at sales. He's really good at figuring out how to get these kind of results. Like he was fucking gifted. I was like, how, what the fuck? By the way, Rich reached out to a guy named Anton. So when Rich came to me and he closed the tattoo, I was like, hey, go talk to this kid named Anton. So he spoke with Anton. Anton's the one that actually is the initial tattoo guy. He went to Anton. Anton gave him the cheat code, and then Rich took it, and then Rich fucking blew out the water to the point where Anton was like, holy fuck, how are you doing this? So the guy that showed him, his mind was blown. Now, the reason I'm sharing all this with you is Rich did not figure out client acquisition. And when it came to client relations of like how to manage his relationship with tattoo artists, all that stuff, he didn't learn those skills. And he may or may not admit that, but he didn't learn how to master, hey, here's how you do your calls. Here's how you report. Here's how you do this. Because he only had one rep. He didn't have multiple clients. So he didn't learn how to set prioritization. So he might tell you, for example, oh, they were a pain in the ass and this and that. But also just keep this in the back of your mind and even be welcome, like tell him, like, hey, Kaushik brought this up as well. And he'll tell you. Have an open, honest conversation about it.
Yeah, man. Plan to.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yep. What else can we do for you, Ryan?
I don't know. Hand me the golden lotto ticket. Nah. I think that's as far as what my brain's probably going to be able to handle as far as taking in information at the moment. So
cool. We'll hang
appreciate
out.
it.
Keep going around. Mr. Riviera, I think you're next, right? Yep.
What
What's
do?
what's going on, brother, man?
Kind of in Ryan's position, right? Just, obviously I had chosen a niche, and I think it comes with a new perspective. I think I don't know. It makes me reevaluate a couple things. I mean, I'm looking into chiropractors. I think I told you, photographers, kind of considered HVAC. I think, if I had to go down a list of like quick little reasons on each, chiropractor is very close to dentists in the terms of doctors, right? I think chiropractors, I've seen a lot of ads where they do like it's not necessarily like dentists where it's like, high ticket ad right off the bat. It's usually like come in for a cheaper, like, cheap back crack or whatever, right? For $60 or something. And then I'm sure there's like some upselling thing I would have to learn to get them results. Kind of saturated. I've seen it, just a lot of ads. HVAC, I do know how to get results for, since I only ran it for like a week or 2 weeks, but getting calls of people saying, hey, I want a whole new install of like, these 10 or 15K units. And it's just like insane. I'm like, holy crap, like one closes, these guys are going to be over the moon. So I think about HVAC, and then I also think about photographers. And I did the niche calculator. Cairo was like 23 out of 30. I think photographers was like 22.5 out of 30. Hadn't done HVAC yet. Photographers, I guess like my girlfriend's a photographer, so I could always use her to embellish on her testimonials like super hard. I think about that perk. I am giving her leads right now, and she's gotten close to a close. I'm still learning the whole process there. I've had to really tweak up her discovery call or sales script, how you go about it. It looks like a one call close type of industry and kind of stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm just like my mind's going, just see like referencing my past experience with other niches, my experience now in another niche, kind of dabbling in photography, is all at play because I think, the worst thing I want to be, the thing is I don't want at all is to be in a niche that is super hard customer acquisition. Shit, man. Seen
that
with dentists, it was just like I mean, every niche is gonna have it, I'm sure, but with dentists it's just absurd. Like, and
you are easily, so if I think about difficulty in terms of me building out a funnel for somebody and doing this whole niching down thing, you're like up here in terms of difficulty. The second highest person is like way down here. And then the next person is like, you are that much higher. You are that much more difficult. Nobody has done a lead form ad. Like you are here. And then I would say like actually Mason is here.
oh
So you're here in terms of dentists, and then we got personal trainers. And then I would say everybody else is like, actually, yeah, you're here, Mason's here, and then everybody else is like way down here. I already have an answer for you in terms of order of operations. I was just curious, like what kind of photography?
I mean, the one that I'm doing for my girlfriend is like, it's family photography, but obviously I know that she's more passionate about that. She doesn't want to get into weddings. To me, my head goes like, what's most high ticket, weddings, elopements and all that. So my head does go there.
Easily
We're
for you, man. I already will tell you, chiropractor is way down here. I would not mess with that. Saying to do it just because it's similar to dentist and some medical field. I love you to death, bro, but that is not a solid reason, right?
right.
It's just
Well, I
like
was trying to find a reason. I'm trying to add notes to each section.
like, hey man, like I already dabbled with like professional doctors, so like I'm gonna do another doctor. Like, no, bro, that's not the reason to do it.
They probably give me the same pain.
Like they're all sanitary. I think that's why. Like, no, bro.
They all have a doctor in their title, so no, but
Hey, again, oh, sorry, don't want to interrupt you, Kashik, but just on your partner being like family portraits or like maternity stuff. So one of my discovery calls was with one of these photographers, and my sister-in-law was one of these photographers, and they dabble in a bit of wedding stuff, but they're really like family portraits and maternity and stuff. And what I found with understanding both of these is one, they don't really know how to, one, market themselves properly, but two, their lifetime value of customers is actually incredibly high, especially in the maternity, because if they get them before they have a baby, they generally have them the whole way through, like the whole 10 to 12 months or that first year of that baby's life. They're wanting photos and stuff. So it's essentially, they've got a real high ticket LTV when you want to head down that road. And probably not, and it's not entirely hard to market towards potential mothers, because there's a lot of emotion involved. I've got a 2-year-old to understand too, that whole process leading up. There's a lot of emotion involved with these females, and it's quite easy to actually take money off them to kind of give them these, set in stone memories.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's great input. Thank you.
Just my 2 cents, man.
Yeah.
So easily, I would tell you way up here is going to be HVAC. Like if you do HVAC, bro, you're going to make money next week. It's not an exaggeration. Like Rodarte, he's listening. He should be sweating balls. You're gonna be like competing with him. But like Rodarte,
no, Rodarte,
Rodarte's already figured it out. It was like stealing cane from a baby. So you're gonna, if you do it, like you're gonna get book calls like fucking next week, and you already figure out how to get them results. So like, I'm not even joking. Like week's time, like you should have money. Kairos is way down here. When it comes to photographers, I've been selling to photographers and videographers for like 7 years, so I can tell you.
Yeah, you're the expert for sure.
And so I can tell you what I learned is I looked at the people that were the most successful in the videography world, and I learned there's Paul Xavier, Parker Walbeck. Why? It's because they have the longest run rate because all they're teaching is the creative side. Actually, that's going to make you the most money because if people or videographers are thinking when they want a course, they want to learn the creative side. Ryan is here from the creative side. You're here from the creative side. Everybody comes from the creative. Everybody takes full-time filmmaker. Mason took full-time. Everybody does because you learn the creative side. So if you teach people the creative side of photography, if you have something like full-time filmmaker and you teach the creative side, you're gonna make a shit ton of money. Now, what I learned is that's gonna give you the most run rate. The second most run rate is gonna be the industries that are the biggest. So what is that? That's weddings and that's real estate. So the highest, if you wanted to sell, is like, hey, the highest would be selling a course to photographers, but that's not what you want to do. So maybe that's off the table. Then the second is going to be like wedding photographers, and then like wedding photographers, and then real estate photographers. But real estate photographers, Eli is already killing that space. Eli, by the way, he's doing like 300, 400,000 a month. All he does is real estate photographers. So he's like in our space. So I would say maybe real estate photography is not worth it. And then you've got some wedding photographers. And then maybe below that could be like like kind of what Ryan's talking about, like maternity and then family. That might be a niche. But here's the thing is like, if you just want to make money, bro, and I was telling Ryan this the other day, he was talking about like his biking thing. He's like, hey man, should I go into biking? And I told him the same thing I'm gonna tell you right now, which is you could go into this photography stuff, but you haven't figured it out yet. You've ran some ads for your girlfriend, but she hasn't made some sales. Versus like HVAC, it sounds like you already got these people. They're like, hey man, fucking come out.
Yeah, the urgency is high. And I usually ask like the last questions, like, how soon do you need this done? And they're like, now.
Yeah. So it's like, bro,
It's like a whole different world.
So it's like, for me, it's very obvious. Out of the three that you can, very
For
obvious
sure.
I would go to if I were you.
For sure. Yeah, no, it'll give me better stuff to sleep on versus what's been in my head, which is always like, I don't know. Sometimes I just need to check in with you guys to get the 411 on like, I don't know. I just need a different fresh eyes on it because sometimes I just get in my own reasonings. Like I said, like I was just thinking doctor to doctor, right? I'm just going from this type of doctor, this type of doctor. So obviously, sometimes but no, yeah, I'm leaning, yeah. Obviously it's the least one I really put thought into, but now that I think about it and the fact that I do have results from it in the sense that we got some really hot ready leads that were probably ready to go, ready to go. So maybe I should just run HVAC and see where that goes. But yeah, but I can't do dentistry anymore. It's too much. Yeah, even I'm really interlinked in these dental associations now, even closing one for some video shoot, which helps just pay the bills. Not really something I'm trying to get into, but he'll tell me, the executive director, and he has like I think 2,500 members that are all dentists and dental students. And he's like, dude, these guys are the hardest to contact. And this guy's an executive director, and he is like these dentists are paying him association fees every month just to get perks that they don't even use, he says. Sometimes it's just hard for him to come out. They're paying him and they don't even come out to get the perks they receive from the association. And then when he calls them to get them, so he can get attendance up for one of these free events, free technically because they pay, right? That he can't even get hold of them sometimes. And he says it's really frustrating. And dude, this association's been around since 1908. Yeah. They have like thousands of members, and he says it is hard to get in contact with these guys. I'm like, dude, trust me, you don't have to tell me twice. These guys are so yeah. Any niche that people, yeah. I sometimes I assume HVAC might be on a roof somewhere when they pick up the call, right? But I think they could, if it was important or if they want to take the call, they could step down from the roof for 10 minutes versus a dentist. He's literally in somebody's mouth. Like, yeah. Try to get that dude to step away. Right. So I think about that too, but no, you got me a lot to think about. I want to give make an actual decision within like 48 hours or something. I don't want to like drag this on too long,
Take some time to sleep on it. But yeah, Ryan, this is what me and Riviera me and Riviera have been at this for 3 months, and I'm impressed. Like I see people with pain threshold tolerance, but like Riviera's got some of the highest fucking pain. I gotta hand, he's got some of the highest pain threshold tolerance. Like he's
Don't look
just-
at my ad spend. Don't look at my ad spend.
roadblock after roadblock, and he just keeps going.
sure.
And I'm fortunate that Daniel can handle that level of stress and pain, but that's the downside of client acquisition, right?
For sure.
I don't think personal trainer is nearly as hard as dentists, but again, it's challenging.
For sure. But no, I mean, you guys got me a lot to think about. So I think it's one of those things like I wish I had more to give you guys, but it's just like I feel like I'm in a very transitionary point in my life. And I think when I have to make a new pivot like that, it always comes with like me feeling kind of low. Like you never feel high about pivoting, right? You usually become a point of pain to the point where you know your body's telling you pain, 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 so you can make a change, and it's trying to get you to a point of survival and to a point of thriving. So I think I felt enough of that pain to be like, you know what, I could double down and just keep going forward, but I think it'd just be more harm done. So I think now I'm feeling it like now I'm feeling hope again. Now I'm feeling light at the end of the tunnel again versus when you initially feel that pain, you think darkness, you think, well, this is it. Well, nothing I go to now is going to be as much fleshed out as what I had. But I think my mindset now is like, well,
I feel, dude, just for what it's worth, I feel fucking optimistic as fuck for you.
Yeah. I was gonna
It's-
say you're gonna feel glad you did it, dude, because like all the things that you've been learning over the past 3 months, the amount of effort you put in, like, dude, it's gonna be a fucking piece of cake for you. Like,
Yeah.
once you have things dialed in, bro, you're gonna be like, oh, like that's it. Like this is
Literally the words that came out of Mason's mouth, which is like easy as fuck. Like I was driving the other day, I was thinking about you, and I was like, yeah, it's just gonna be easy as fuck for him because I've seen what you can do with dentists, bro. I've seen what you can do. I can see the way you handle automation. Like I know you know the technical stuff. I've seen you conduct the discovery call. I've seen you, so it's like I just know it's gonna be easy as fuck for you.
yeah, I just need to be on the right railroad track, and then the train will move. But if
Yeah.
I'm on a railroad track with rust and there's no bolts on it, then it's like,
You've been like
obviously I'm not going to move forward.
you're like swimming and the current's like fucking you up like the whole time. You've like built up all these muscles because you've been swimming it. So
I mean,
imagine if I flip you around. You'll be
Riviera's Riviera's nickname is the mutant.
the X-Men, right? They always go through the X-Men are always like the ones that are they always go through the most tragic stuff, but then they always come out on top in some way. But yeah, I mean, even seeing my girlfriend's like obviously she hasn't got clothes, but everything like we had no script, no reference. We had some ads, we were funnel hacking. But the ability for me to create a discovery call for her, to create a sales call for her, to have her actually have people say, oh, you know what? Like, ask certain questions to where these mothers are like, I haven't really thought about it that way. We've been wanting to have more kids, and I really haven't thought about just having a photo session with the one son I have now and having a time in our life that's captured showing like, well, like this is the only time we're gonna have just him. And like hearing her on the phone, like get that out of somebody, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I'm like, because she thought it was just like, hey, I want this package, do a photo shoot so we can hang it on the wall. And I told her, I'm like, you got to get them to make it feel like if you don't capture this moment at this moment in time, you are literally missing out on your child in this stage of it. You're gonna lose this stage of his life forever. You're never gonna have something to look back on for him being graduating from whatever or having this. And honestly, like, yeah, she's getting there. She's never done sales in her life, but having her senior conduct a sales call and conduct a Loom video, record herself, and it just makes me so proud, like that I'm able to pass everything on that you guys have taught me. It's crazy.
How much have you spent on ads for her so far?
Just like four or 500, but she's getting tons of leads. Like I think we had it $7 per lead. And then just recently it just started producing some fake ones. So we did a duplicate and now it's kind of jumped to like $18 a lead, but now they're all real.
Gotcha.
So,
and
but she's learning off them. So
she's selling some for like $2,000, $5,000, $10,000.
We're just doing like these mini shoots for like 400. And just because, I mean, she has like, I always tell her go higher, but that's where, I have to be tactful. I'm like her business partner and relationship partner, so I gotta make sure I don't step on her toes. But she's definitely always opening up a little more my way.
Are you doing lead form ads or like going into funnel for her?
We tried a funnel initially, and then it wasn't really, nobody was really jumping on. They were getting a lot of clicks, but no one was opting in. So then we switched it to Facebook lead form. Then when we found out a lot of people were real on there, we just say, yeah, let's just stick it on Facebook lead form. But I also thought maybe I should have just went straight to a booking page. I might try that. We noticed a lot of people would go, she's getting opt-ins through the Facebook lead form, but a lot of people would IG DM her as well. So we thought maybe a Messenger DM ad, or sorry, a Instagram DM ad as well, because she is getting so many people that aren't opting in, that are just going straight to her inbox, like clicking on her profile and just messaging her that. So it's all new to me. So I feel like I almost get a little bit like bombarded. Like I know we're getting good clicks, I know we're getting leads now, but it's like I don't know what I'm looking for. Am I looking for people that are just ready to go buy? But
What I figured out for videographer, wedding videographers was it's messenger ads. So it's DM ads.
really, 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 because she is getting a lot of those without actually running DM ads. She's getting actual messages. So maybe I look into that.
You want to have conversations, and then from there, if things sound right, then you push them to a discovery call, phone call, and then from there a sales call. So that's what I came to find. I tried all the different things as well.
You
So
tried all the different things. Okay, cool. I'll make sure to mention her. I even told her, like, she even told me, she's like, hey, I want you to focus on your stuff. Like, you gave me all like the stuff I just need to grow, and I'll, you can obviously supervise when you need, but I don't want this to take from your stuff. So, just know that, like, I basically kind of build out something enough for her to kind of run with. But ultimately, I do, obviously I'm focused on my niche and getting to that next level for myself. So,
yeah. Okay. Good. Let's see here. Is Jason still there? Jason's still there. So what else did you want to go over, Rivera, that we could help you in terms of niching down, or anything else that was on your mind?
No, that's pretty much it. I think I have some things to think about, and I took notes. So, yeah, I'll definitely, when I make my decision, it'll be quick, but it'll be informed. So I'll just give you guys an update on next time for that.
Sounds good, man. Mr. Pierre, I was wondering, I was like, is he gonna pop up, or is he sleeping?
There he is.
I'm here. I've been listening to the whole thing, man. Obviously we have conversations privately. I have a sales call Wednesday. I'm still going through some of the sales content. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I just need to super prepare for, because I don't have any payment things set up yet, which I'm sure is in the content. And I know we have that problem of which you did give me a solution for, of if he asks for proof. My only thing is, if he insists, then it's like, what do I do? Because I can deflect, and I did today. I got him on the sales call, or booked for one. But like, if he keeps insisting, then what am I to do, just in case?
So I mean, like, so if you get to the end of the sales call and he says something along the lines of, hey, I need to speak with a client, then all you can say is, okay, sounds good, I'll connect a client to you, if you're really adamant. But aside from that, it's like that's it. That's all you can do. There's not really much more than that, other than like deflecting, other than saying, hey, when you opted in, do you remember seeing some of the testimonial videos? Kind of trying to get him to scratch his head a little bit, like, no, I didn't actually. Um, Aside from that, man, that's pretty much it. But the idea is to deflect so much that he doesn't think about that. Ryan, Cam, have you guys had that experience where people are asking for like testimonials and results? And if so, how did you guys deal with that?
Yeah, I did. I didn't get them. But so in my presentation, I show them social proof. Are you talking about for your
He's in the six. He's doing the 6 figure 6 weeks still, but
is this
he's got
discovery call though, or the demo?
he's got a sales call.
Oh, so we're talking about the sales call, like in terms of if they ask for it there.
Yeah. So that guy, he's already asked him on the discovery call, like, hey, I need to see proof and stuff like that, because he's been burned. And so Jason is anticipating the guy asking him for proof on the sales call.
What's the niche, just out of curiosity?
He's alcohol. He sells liquor. Tequila, I think.
Okay. Well, on my demonstration, I go through a lot of social proof. It's all stuff that I made up. If you want, I can send it to you after this, Jason. But I show them so much social proof, and I'm so excited and amped about it. And I go through it pretty quick that they're like, oh my God, like holy shit. And can I share my screen really quick, Kaushik? Because one thing that I found helped me a lot is all these things that I'm showing you, they're fake. So I found these guys, they're in Canada, and I'm only marketing to the US, right? So it's safe to show these people. And if these people show up, then I'm really fucked. But yeah, so these people are just people that I found on they're just a furnace and duct cleaning company. Found this on their Instagram. They're making business cards here. I tell people that they're trying to file their taxes and they're trying to make ends meet. On their Instagram profile, that's what they're saying. They're making business cards, but I take it as they're just trying to do bills.
Yeah.
And then for this, I took this off Google. So it's just a very amateur picture of Vegas, something that you would send to like a family member saying that you're at Vegas. And then I face swapped these guys. So these guys were two different people. If you zoom in, it's a bit more of a waxy face compared to the background, but yeah. And I made it horizontally on purpose so that I kind of had to make it smaller for it to fit. And the smaller it is, the harder it is to see their faces, obviously. So yeah, the amount of social proof that I put in is just so ridiculous that like how can it not be true? Some text messages that I just made up. Even see how it says Curtis Hall? This JR should technically be CH for Curtis Hall. I haven't even Dutched that, but no one's noticing. So let's see here. Let's get worse. This one, like half of these have chiropractor in the back. I got to do something about this, but I go through it so fast. Oh yeah, sorry. This thing is a big tip for me, I'd say. I say this works for Curtis and Mackenzie Hall, fantastic, but you got to be wondering like, I don't know who the hell Curtis and Mackenzie Hall are. Does this work for other duct cleaning companies? Well, my answer to you is absolutely it does. And then I go to the next one. Matt Paterna did this, and you go so fast that they don't have time to read this. This. Don't get distracted by the numbers. We'll teach you and your team how to color code if that's the route that you guys want to go. But what I want you to focus on is just focus on the numbers. Eric Hedman did $42,974 in less than 60 days with us. Tim Kosterman did over $30,000. And what I do here to make it more realistic is I give a pause and I say, but just to let you know, Jason, I just want to be transparent and let you know that Tim did already have a couple trucks and he was pretty established when we found him. So I just want to be transparent and let you know this is a really good number and this is a point that we can get you to, and I am confident that we can. But I just wanted to be frank before I kind of move on and let you know that the numbers here and where they're coming from. And then I kind of say like this one's my favorite one. Taylor went from $45,000 in a whole year as a business being open, and then just 2 months with us, she almost made the same amount that she made in 7 months being open. So I just kind of get a little bit more detailed, and when I do this, after kind of talking about Mackenzie and Curtis's story in the comments, this is my slide where I kind of build up the scenario that they want to be in, which is for lots of people that I'm talking to, it's a guy who's on a duct cleaning truck. He's running the truck by himself. He's a one-man band, and ideally he wants to one day put the tools away and put himself in the position where he's overseeing operations, where he's hiring technicians and putting them in trucks, so he doesn't have to be in people's houses and doing those things anymore. He can just kind of oversee and grow a band and focus on big picture. So that's kind of why I built out this slide, because this is where I believe almost all these guys' dreams are to be, and this is the scenario where they all are not, and what they majority of the time what they want to strive to be. So I say Mackenzie's a stay-at-home mom now. Sometimes she goes into the office. Like I throw in little details to make it more realistic. Like Mackenzie's a stay-at-home mom now. To be honest, sometimes she does go into the office, but it's at her leisure. Like the office ladies know exactly what they're doing. We give them the scripts that they need to go out there and absolutely kick butt. Mackenzie just likes to go in there to make sure everything's still up to date in terms of quality control. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to grow too big and make sure and let the quality get out of hand. So Curtis dish the tools and be able to focus on growth picture. And when I get to the $1 million business thing, I usually say, and to be honest, I think that they're around $10,000 away from being $1 million business, but I just put $1 million business there because I don't know about you, but I feel like that's close enough to $1 million business for me to say that. And they told me that they were about $10,000 off of their yearly goal of hitting $1 million about 2 weeks ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're there. So that's what I mean, Jason, when I say, but I throw little details in there to make the social proof even more realistic. It's not just cut and dry. I'm throwing in little things. I just did that by myself. I don't know if Kaushik encourages that, but it just felt right. So yeah, and half the time when I'm like, yeah, I feel like $10,000 is pretty close to $1 million business. How do you feel about that? I felt like that was fair to just say. And they're like, oh, hell yeah. So they just kind of get on board with me. And I'm like, hell yeah, right? And then I get moving on to this thing. And then I go super fast through here. I got to do something about this. But before they had doctors, yeah, see, if you move this out of the way, it says doctor. So all these are chiropractic people. But after I go through here, I go through super fast. I'm like, and there's a lot more of that came from. But to be honest with you, Jason, I believe that I can show you as much social proof that you want to see. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how we're getting these people the results that I'm showing you, it's not going to make sense. So let's begin with how we're getting these results, and it all starts with an easy client on demand system. And the way that we do that is we always start with our hobby Facebook ads, and that's kind of when you dive into your solutions. But I don't know, I kind of went off tangent there. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of sauce in terms of like what I do to kind of squash the social proof thing, because I just get so excited and they're like, they get excited, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Of course, I appreciate that. I could definitely do that. The only thing is with this guy, it's not me, it's him. Just like Koshik said, like he's had multiple bad instances with people, and so my only thing is he might want to be thorough and be like, hey, like the guy who actually calls your references. That's the only thing that worries me.
I think you can only do what you can do, and then if they still do that, that's just not your client, especially at this stage. At least that's the way I would have handled it at that point. But I don't know. That's all I got for you in terms of what
I appreciate it. I'm gonna do my best to not even have to worry about it, but I just want to, go in there with guns blazing.
Yeah, you'll get it.
So this is the six week. See, this is, you're offering a free video commercial at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Which like a lot of share. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say, like, so with my discovery calls, like I really push the idea of that free video commercial and like how much value they were getting from that. And pretty much all the discovery call, like every discovery call I took, were all super excited about that and wanted to know more about that and wanted to get a little bit more detail about that. And like you really kind of just shift their focus to like they're getting this massive value and what kind of shoots they could do. A lot of them kind of like, oh, I've had my own ideas, something like this, and you can just expand on that and just get them really super excited about it. I know obviously it kind of just it brings them up, and as you go through that discovery call, I'm probably not the best person to talk to about this, to be fair. As I mentioned to Koshik, a lot of my discovery calls, I think bar one, as I got near the end, they all started to cool down for me. For some reason, I just wasn't able to go through that second part of that script super natural and keep the energy high.
Yeah.
But to eliminate any questions like that coming up, you kind of you want to make them think about or put more focus on the value they're getting, which in this instance is the free video commercial, and then that kind of marketing side of it's just like this is why we're giving you this free massive video, is to make sure that it works and that you're not just going to post it up and nothing's going to happen for it, because that's not going to benefit anyone.
Yeah, no, of course.
And I think just making them, even if you have to beat around the bush a little bit, just to explain to them, like, we're giving you this massive opportunity here, but for us to know that it's actually going to work, you got to let us control it a little bit. And for some reason, none of them kind of hit me with any social doubt and like some of them. In fact, actually, one of the discovery calls I took was an e-commerce store, and I mentioned this to Koshik. She's had a bunch of different marketers, and she was spending 4 or 5K a month on them. And I basically said, halfway through the discovery call, I basically said, like, I don't think I can help you. I was like, to be honest, like, I can give you this video and stuff, but I don't think I could help you marketing. You sound like you're kind of doing everything right so far. And just elaborated on that and just said, look, you're doing this great. You're doing this great. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And for some reason, by the end of it, because I told her that, she trusted me enough to be like, oh, I want to know more. Well, how much are you going to charge? Yeah. Let's get on you show me what you can do, and we'll get on another call. So even though they've been burnt, I think the ones that have been burnt are going to appreciate you to being more honest. So even if it means you have to go off script a little bit more and just talk with them as person to person and just be super open, like an open book, they're going to be like, oh, that's super transparent. I'm actually feeling a lot more comfortable talking to them. I think that's probably the biggest thing that you got to try and portray or get across, when you're dealing with someone who's been burned. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kashik, but that was my experience with someone who has been burnt a few times before.
Yeah, I think being transparent where they truly feel like you are being very honest and like doing something where they feel like you think you're shooting yourself in the foot, but you're doing it like, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Like they feel like, yeah, man, this Jason guy is saying something and he's kind of sort of shooting himself in the foot. And I actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's maybe what Ryan was getting at a little bit. It's that and it's healing them. Like I said, it's really sitting down and I already kind of choice. It's like, well, what happened? What went wrong? What went wrong? What went wrong? Why did they screw you over? Why did that happen? Here's what I think actually happened. Um, and lastly, man, don't stress about it too much, bro. Don't stress about it too much. We got a lot of people in the pipeline, so don't stress about it too much.
I was gonna knock some calls today. And we got the hurricane coming through Wednesday. So I'm gonna be remote tomorrow. I got like 30, 31 leads total, 20 something that I haven't hit up yet. So that's tomorrow. I'm knocking those out. So I'm not worried about getting more calls. Those are gonna be happening. But I'm hoping to get like my first call closed. I want to move on. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm excited. So I did want to ask, in terms of the creative, I don't know if it's in this week or not, of what are the limitations of what can get created for this free commercial, like, because obviously we're not making like a big old production, I don't imagine, but any words for that?
Well, you're most likely not make anything at all. You're most likely just gonna refund them.
Got you. That's
Yeah.
right.
Remember, you're just closing them just to
Yeah.
show, hey, Kershik, I can close. I know what I'm doing. I know how to work people. I know how to work leads. All right, great, Jason. Let's go and refund them, and then let's move on to actually like literally what me and Ryan are talking about, what me and Daniel are talking about, like niching down. That's where you want to move towards as soon as possible. Now, if you close a deal that's like in a great niche, well, then yeah, I'll talk to you about that. Like, if you close a deal and let's say, I don't know, let's say you close like, let's just say a personal trainer and you really want to do personal trainers, well then yeah, we'll talk about like how to get them results and all that stuff. Don't worry about that. I'll talk to you when the time is right about that.
Got you. And the Stripe or whatever we use for transactions is in the week 3, end of week 3 or so.
That's you can talk to
I
Mason.
already sent him a video.
Got
Okay.
you.
Yeah. So you definitely want to get that sorted out. You definitely want to have a way to collect payment, whether you Stripe or whatever you use for your own business, doesn't really matter. So you need to have a way to collect payment. You need to make sure you get that sorted before your sales call so that you're not like fumbling around with that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was worried about. Aside from that, you know what I'm saying, I'm excited about the call. Got a bunch more calls to do, follow-ups and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited. I'll probably have a lot more questions come the next coaching call. So yeah.
Main thing is just don't sweat it, bro. Like I know, like I know it's a little bit stressful for the very first sales call, just like the very first discovery call is stressful. But you just put in the reps, put in the numbers, and before you know, you're gonna be like Cam, which is like so you're almost just running through it, blazing through it. You do enough reps, and don't sweat it. With this guy, he's a little bit, been burned. Like don't, they're usually not like that, right? This is a little bit of a tougher one. They're usually not like that. So yeah, bro. What else you got for me in terms of questions? Or you got anything?
I do have another sales call Friday. So I got one on Wednesday and then one on Friday. So two sale calls this week, and then whatever else I muster out from tomorrow's calls.
Okay, really quick. The one that you have on Friday, is that because they weren't available, or is that because you booked it out that Friday, or like why is it so far out?
I believe she wasn't available to that Friday. She
Okay.
said that's the earliest she could
Okay,
do.
that's fine. The reason I bring that up is you want to push your call out about 2 days max. So let's say, for example, I have a call today, Monday evening at 6. I want to have my sales call Wednesday evening at 6. I don't want to push out any further than that. I might not even want to close to that. I feel like 48 hours is a good sweet spot. So just keep that in mind in the future because you'll run into an issue that Jerry ran into. I don't know if you heard him, but people are no showing. It's because you push it out too far, they're not going to show up.
Yeah. And I'm sure I'll face some resistance with my leads too, because they've sat for a bit. But I'm still gonna treat them like they didn't the call. I've been sending voice notes today, so it's all good in the hood.
Yeah, you want to be on it, bro. You got to be on it when it comes to these leads. If you got a bunch of them sitting on, they get cold, man. So you got to be on it.
For sure, for sure. I'm doing the best I can with this 9 to 5 stuff, but again, We got the storm coming for the next couple of days. I should be free. It's gonna flood. We're getting direct impacts. Hopefully, I'm alive to come back to the next call.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I'm hearing some nasty stuff out in Florida. Some people with their houses gone. So I hope you stay safe.
Second one in the last like 30 or so days. So it's fun. It's that season.
Yeah. That dude that created Hormozy's initial videos, short form videos, his house got fucked up. That Ryan guy lost his whole house.
Mm.
But stay safe out there, man. Stay safe. Keep yourself safe. My fingers are crossed for you. What else you got for us, bro?
That's really it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Overall, everything going good, everything smooth, leads coming in. You feel good about everything, not overwhelmed. I know you had questions. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm excited to get the calls done. I'm a little disappointed I couldn't do some today. Um, but I know there are some people who had to deal with some stuff. So I was trying to stay on and hoping it was gonna end so I could like hop on these calls, but I was like, damn, it's like 10 o'clock now. They're settling in the bed, they're not trying to hear from me right now. So once the morning hits, yeah, I'm on it.
Cool, cool. All right then. Well, if that's all, Jason. Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, I got one for LLC. I talked to you, Mason, about it, and you said if you wanted, you kind of got it straight away, because this is all you were wanting to do. So you just wanted to get it over with, because that's what you thought your future was gonna look like. I'm kind of in the same arena. Like I just got a hat embroidered for my logo. Like I'm trying to like get this thing going. What did you do in terms of getting an LLC? Did you reach out to like a lawyer? Is a lawyer even necessary? If you wouldn't mind just sending me what you did, and I can just follow that. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing.
Yeah, that's easy, dude.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. That's it.
Anybody got anything else? Cool. Mason, you burnt out, or do you want to chat a little bit afterwards?
I'm down to talk your asses.
I'm all right. I got another 3 hours in me. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Okay, well then you're staying in.
Rock and roll. All right, you fellas, peace out. You gotta go. Me and Mason got a private one-on-one. You guys can't hear about it. So
It's when we talk shit about all you.
Only good things, please. Only good things.
all right, we'll see you hooligans next week, okay?
Sweet. Goodbye.
All right, later, guys.
All right, Mason. So let me start a new Zoom because this one's live, okay?
Yeah, I got